Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. We're going to wait a second here to see some people come up in here. So who do we have in here so far? Kelly, it's great to see you, one of our new students who just joined. It's great to see you. Deonte as well. Janice, it's excellent to see you. Carmelita. So you guys are just rolling in here. We definitely appreciate you. Naima, it's good to see you. Kusana, let's see. I think, yeah, there we go. Yeah, a lot of y'all coming in. Latanja, yes,
all right,
for joining us tonight. Al, how you doing over there, man?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Ready to drop some knowledge on folks, help people get some gigs and cash some checks.
Get some gigs and cash some checks.
Yeah, or direct deposit if you want to go paperless. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm excited about tonight's lecture. And the reason is new content that we did not think about last masterclass, or we didn't have structured. But this time we structured it in terms of, how to grow your brand once you know your initial story as well. So looking forward to presenting that tonight. But before we do, Al, let's talk about, just ask the audience, any good news out there? Anybody make a milestone in their business that they would like to share
Yes.
with tonight?
We want the good news. Okay, and if you're going to type in some good news while y'all saying hello to everybody, do me a favor. Make sure your chat settings are set to all panelists and attendees so everybody can see it, okay? All panel. So right above where you type in your message, make sure it's set to all panelists and attendees so that we can all see what you have to say. You did your first IGTV. Okay, Carmelita.
Okay. Yeah, so the first IGTV, that was pretty cool. I know Latanja, she has a milestone. I don't know if she wants to share it or not.
She just said she started typing in there. I did my first 2 sales calls.
Yeah. She did her first 2
what?
sales calls.
Okay.
Made some good money off of it too. Yeah. So I got $5 from her.
That's funny.
Yeah. So,
that's good. I see my boy just popped in. Deonte is in there.
Yep. So Deonte's here too. Let's see.
Now there's Kelly. Who Kelly? Kelly, say what's up. Where you from? You said Kelly's new?
Yeah, Kelly's brand new. So Kelly, tell the audience a little bit about you just in the chat.
Yeah, just real quick shout. Where you from?
Yep. But she's straight out of Omaha, Nebraska, if I remember correctly. That's not where she's from. That's where she lives.
She lives in Omaha, Nebraska? Okay.
Yeah, well, that's where Diana lives at. My cousin Diana lives in Omaha.
She lives up there too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We had some good news, actually.
Janice got her AWeber list back. Yes, Janice, wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. That's good.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that too.
Yep, that's awesome. Go ahead, Lauren. What you going to say, Lauren? Some good news.
I was going to say a couple things. So one, Dr. West, right?
Okay.
Let's see. Hold on 1 second.
She hasn't gotten on yet.
No, she hasn't gotten on yet.
She'll be on probably. Yep.
Yeah. So Dr. West.
Troy just popped in.
Yeah, she has some good news. She has a couple of gigs coming up, which I think is pretty awesome.
Look at Kelly. Kelly, you got a 5-year-old. Woo! I remember them days.
Yeah, so
I understand that.
Yes, a couple things going on. On the Black Business School Boyce Watkins Enterprise front, we had a video go viral.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool. So Boyce did a 2-minute video. Let's see if it comes up easily. Let me go to my history.
Is that the one about the?
Yeah. So it's titled "What a Billionaire Told Me About Black."
Oh yeah, I saw that thing. I watched that myself. I saw that instantly. Yep.
Yeah. So when I just checked 2 hours ago, it had 590,000 views, and now it has 610,000 views. So it got 20,000 views in the last couple hours. So this will probably be a 1 million view video by the time it's said and done. And it probably also generated maybe 20,000 additional subscribers to the channel, or it will when it's said and done. So all it takes is one video. Like, you can't count on that one video always happening, but all it takes is that one video that resonates with your audience, that catches fire too, and people tend to like it. It also has, 2,800 comments, so 2,850 in terms of comments as well. So that was great news on our social media platform building front as well.
That's nice.
So, on a personal front, this might go to a brand here sooner or later, but finally got my daughter, me and my wife's daughter.
Kelly would love it. See, Kelly can relate to that. She got a 5-year-old.
Oh, can she? Okay, yep. So that was
nice.
A pretty cool thing. So if we ever do like a live free lifestyle, that's what I've been thinking about doing as a brand. It's a course in the Black Business School about how to live internationally and that type of stuff. We may use this as personal proof, or actually social. Well, no, this is personal proof. Personal proof to strengthen our case, and that's what we're talking about tonight. Is things like social proof and personal proof, and even broader than that. How do you go about building your persona, and how do you go about building your reputation? So that is the topic for tonight's lecture, and I guess we'll go ahead and jump right in.
Yeah, we will. Did any boss have any good news? A couple things. If you got any other good news, go ahead and type it in, because we're getting ready to start our talk for this evening in about the next 60 seconds or so. The other thing is, Deonte, we're going to take a look at his video. Do you have that link already, Lawrence? You don't have the link for his video, right?
I don't think so. But,
okay, that's fine. So Deonte,
if you post it, that'd be good.
Yeah, Deonte, I'm letting people know. Deonte, remember, we're going to take a look at your video. You said you want us, either you made a clip of it or you're going to want us to watch the first 5 minutes. That's fine. So make sure you have that ready towards the end. And what's up, Senya? I see you just jumped in here. Jane is saying, I strengthened my marketing message again and updated your website. That's good, Jana. So, Jana, I'm expecting you to get up on one of these hot seats, group coaching sooner or later, so we can take a look at I want to see what you've been doing on your website, and see what you got going on, so we can take a look at that as well. And anybody else? Okay, so a lot of good, happy feelings in the air, and as Frankie Beverly would say, right? All right, so let me share my screen and we can get ready to go ahead and jump on in here. All right. So this week we're going to continue with our branding pillar, and we're talking about persona and reputation. Now, last week you all already remember we started breaking down brand story. You all got a lot of happy reactions out of that thing. You said you found it very helpful. I know Janice said she was feeling good at the end of group coaching last week about working out some things and being able to use those 4 questions to really help shape what your brand story is going to be. If you didn't see that lecture, make sure you go back and check it out. But just remember those 4 questions when it comes to beginning to develop your brand story. That is making sure that you can, number one, identify an external problem. So what is your audiences or your potential clients or your target markets most pressing external problem? And has you or anyone related to you experienced that? What's the most pressing internal problem? Or has you or anyone related to you experienced that? Then, of course, we want to know, is there a common villain? That is, who's the common villain that you all can say, you know what, I beat that same villain already, or I can help you conquer that villain. And then there was, what core beliefs? What's the main core belief that you want to share? And that's going to be real important in a second, and you will see why, okay? As always, y'all know I get the flowing over here, so I'm going to look up at the chat every now and then. Lawrence is going to be looking at the chat also. We'll make sure we get your questions answered. And, of course, if we don't, we got the whole new system that we're going to be using with you all. If we got a chance, if we had to, answer your question individually during the week using Bonjoro. And so let's get this thing cracking, all right? So here's the thing. Going back, looking at the model real quick, we're still operating in the brand pillar. Okay, because the brand is extremely important. We want to make sure your brand is rock solid. So that's what we're starting. And of course, the whole thing about brand is this is where you build a whole lot of know, remember, like, and trust. That's where you lift this up That's what makes people want to do business with you. It's also what endears your audience to you. And when you're dealing with branding, in particular, the aspects of branding that we're talking about this week, we're going to be talking a whole lot about this is how you get them to like you and how you get them to trust you. Okay, so this is where we are for this week. And here's take a quick snapshot of the model again. Everybody by now should be focusing on the niche. In the chat real quick, if you have not decided on your niche yet, please type, I'm still working on it in the chat. Is there anybody here in class that has not quite decided on a niche? That is, I haven't identified a target market of who. Okay, so Kelly, you need some help finalizing your niche. That's good. We'll get back around to that. Okay, and if anybody else, let us know, because what happens is that as we're moving through this branding model and we get ready for this content thing, going to the content pillar, we want to be careful, because what happens is we've built the whole 5 pillars framework so that even though it all interacts and intermingles, it's very hard to progress if you're missing pieces here, because we're starting to operate assuming that you have certain things. So you're starting to hear that come out in my language, okay? And so one of them is your niche and the position that you have or that you want to occupy in your niche. So if you haven't quite gotten that together, let's make sure we talk about that, okay, Kelly and anybody else. So if you got your niche in your position, then we started talking to you last week about your brand story and how your brand story permeates through everything. That's the $1 million question. Every time your audience interacts with you, what story are you telling? What story are they thinking? Are they starting to receive? What are they getting from you? And you all already know, like I said, it permeates through everything, because that's how you want to come across to your audience. It's a driving thing. It's the thing that really drives up your know and remember and your like and your trust factor. So the story was a big thing last week. And now what we want to move into are persona and reputation, because once you get the persona, reputation, and understand how that relates to your story, what happens is you have a great foundation for creating a very strong brand, which is crucial to your success, because as we always keep saying, you got to be able to differentiate yourself. That's one of the main things. And if you can't differentiate yourself, it's hard to stand out in a crowded marketplace, okay? All right, so, and yeah, one more thing, Kelly, change your comments, yes, to all panelists and attendees. One more time. So right above where you type in your message for everybody, type in all panelists and attendees, unless there's something very private that you want to send to Lawrence or something like that, or to me, that's fine. But normally we just talk open with everybody. Even if you're sharing your information or you're saying, well, I want to catch up with you all later, the conversation, that's what the chat is for. Please feel free to share with everybody, okay? All right, so let's keep moving right here into this whole branding thing. So persona and reputation is real simple. I'm going to make it real simple. We're not even getting into definitions this week right here necessarily. Persona is, what do you represent to your market? What do you represent? And reputation is, what does the market or your audience, what does it say about you? That's the easiest way to look at it. So one thing is, this is what you represent. And the other thing is what people or what the market are actually, or what are they actually saying about you? Now, here's some key principles for persona and reputation. You got to keep this in mind right here. And don't worry, I'm going to dig into each one in particular when we start talking about what you want to represent. So here go 4 key principles for you right here. And they are this. All aspects of your brand have to be credible, believable, or verifiable. So for example, one story that I'm always telling, it's a story I tell a lot. And it says it helps shape my brand when I'm dealing with an audience. That is, I'm always telling a story about my father's addiction to crack cocaine, although he was a preacher, and how he worked that, lost his family, but he overcame that, got his life back together, okay? Now, here's the funny thing. That story is, it sounds credible, it's believable, but it will be hard to verify that unless you actually talk to my dad. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I want to be careful about the verifiable part, because some parts of your story should be verifiable. If you met my dad, met my mom, met my family, talked to them, yeah, you can verify that. But that's not like something that you could maybe jump on Google and verify very quickly while the audience is listening to you. But it sounds believable, okay? And so a big part of that is is what you exude to the audience. Is it even believable? Okay, and is it credible? That means, you know, if you're claiming that you did something, or you're saying I can teach you this, is it credible? Did you write a book on it? How many people have you taught to do this? Have you done it yourself? Okay, and then this is a big one right here. When you want to say verifiable, listen, this is why I'm very careful in the industry. When you start taking seminars and you want to learn from people, and they start saying, "Oh, we had a $2 million product launch." Okay, the audience it sounds credible, sounds believable, but is it verifiable? Okay, so just keep that in mind, because if any of this starts to waver, if your credibility starts to waver, if what you're saying doesn't sound believable, that is like, well, you told me the story one way now, and then 5 minutes later you told it a different way, okay? Or, I live in that neighborhood. I'm from the same neighborhood as you. It ain't like that there. You never know. And I'll tell you, I've heard a lot of stories. Speakers telling stories, and I'm like, nah. I'm not sure if I believe that, right? Or, okay, so obviously I'm stressing this to you because everybody, all great entertainers and speakers, what happens is, in the storytelling mode in particular, you start to tell the story in an entertaining manner. That means you might embellish some things, you might exaggerate, you might tell some jokes based on what happened. All right, that's good. But as I always tell Lawrence, the facts are the facts. Now, you can say little funny things, you know, make little things about what you were thinking, because you don't know what you was thinking 15 years ago, if you was really thinking that. But that's okay, because it's in the story. But the facts remain the facts, and it's not undermining your credibility or making you seem unbelievable or like it can't be verified, okay? Just be careful with that. I'm serious. The other one is, it's too difficult for a brand to occupy. Let me tell you this, it is extremely difficult for a brand to occupy more than one position in the mind of the market. Let me prove it to you right now. If I say IHOP, what's the first thing comes to your mind? Type it in the chat. I just said IHOP. Everybody, type the first word that comes to your mind when I say IHOP in the chat. So somebody says pancakes, breakfast food. Pancakes. There we go. No, nobody thinking hamburgers. Nobody thinking hamburgers. You're not thinking IHOP. You know exactly. But so what's happening with IHOP is that IHOP has come to realize that this position that they occupy in the mind of the market is, at this point in time, is a little bit disadvantageous to them, because when it's time to go to lunch, if you're not the type of person who always eats pancakes for lunch, like Lawrence earlier said, Lawrence said it's always a good time to eat pancakes. That's what he told me earlier. So, so if that's not you, when it's time for lunch, you might not be thinking I can go to IHOP for lunch. So IHOP has introduced burgers. Well, I was telling Lawrence this earlier. I said, well, that's great. I said, the only problem is that for somebody like me, I grew up, for as long as I can remember, I'm talking about from a little kid, IHOP and pancakes. That's what it is. IHOP is breakfast food. Now, because they're introducing these hamburgers, and because they want to stress this so much now, I even saw a commercial they had recently where they said, somebody sent out a tweet that said, stick to pancakes, and they smashed the tweet on the ground, said, we're going to do this burger thing too, right? Okay, that's fine. But there are some little children like Amina, Lawrence's daughter, who may grow up thinking of IHOP as the pancake and the burger place. That's fine, because that's the position, all right, that they have occupied in that young person's mind, since that's what they grew up with. But for us, you're forever the pancake people. So it's hard to change that, okay? Troy said you actually got mad at them when they said they was going to change the name. All right. So I just want you to keep this in mind. Why am I saying this? It's because if you find wait a minute, hold on, I gotta pause. Troy, did you just say you're gonna boycott them because they wanted to change the name? Oh man, Okay, then people can't see that, Tori. Change your chat settings, to all panelists and attendees, because y'all didn't see that. He said he got mad at them when they said they would change the name. He was ready to boycott. Okay, so just keep that in mind, because, and you know what, it's funny because I'm laughing and we're joking about it right now, but some people are like that with your brand. Once they get hold of your brand, this is what they think you are. This is how you have endeared yourself to them, and you go changing that or messing with that. People don't like that. A lot of times they don't. But sometimes as a business owner, you might realize that the position I'm occupying is not profitable enough, and therefore you're trying to adjust that. That's perfectly fine. It's better to adjust it than to go broke. So I understand where IHOP is coming from. It's just they got an uphill battle to climb, and they got some people that's going to boycott them, like Troy, right? All right. So here's the thing. The reason we're stressing this is because you should think about this clearly. We're going to show you tonight how to build this stuff out, how to start building out your persona and to figure out how to grow your reputation. But you got to keep in mind that you're going to have to choose one position and go for it. And so I'm not saying I ain't telling y'all don't be scared. Don't be scared or nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying take your time and think about the position that you really want to occupy, because it's hard. I'll give you one more example for me. So you all already know, for you here on right now in class, I was telling Lawrence, there were a couple ministers in class. Okay, that means they got churches. There are some professors in class. That means they have college students, right, that they deal with. They're on a campus somewhere. Okay, there were some other people out of the country, right, who are doing things. Guess what? All of those are type of people that, if I was talking about soft skills training and working with young people and professionals who work with them, guess what? I would, if normally in most scenarios or in other circumstances, I would be trying to occupy that position with you instead, because I would be thinking I'm getting business for my soft skills training side. You got me? But over here, I don't occupy that position with you all. What I occupy for you all is, this is the guy that's helping me, along with Lawrence Watkins, helping me to build my speaking business. All right. So it's hard. It's not that you can't, people don't see that, but the position starts in one place and then you can fan out from there. So it's not that you can't have other things, or that I don't know IHOP sells burgers, or that you don't know Al Duncan does soft skills training. Is that no? But first and foremost, this is the position he occupies in my mind. Okay, I hope you all understand where I'm going with that. The other thing is, there can be a difference between what you want your brand to be and what it actually is in the mind of your customers, right? For example, watch this. I say Walmart. In the chat, type what's the first thing that comes to your mind. If I say a Walmart, what is the first thing that popped into your mind? Let me see. Let me pull up the chat so I can see. What's the first thing that comes to your mind if I say a Walmart? Type it in the chat. Anybody. Discount or cheap. Good. I got that from Deonte. Anybody else? Low price. However, that's no longer true. Okay. All right. Somebody said cheap. Somebody said Julian's like, I hate grocery shopping. I'm with you, Julian. The thing gets on my nerves. Okay. Carmelita. Now look at this. Carmelita, for her, I'm saying Walmart, the first thing she's thinking of is identity theft, because that's where they got her card. Crazy, right? You know what's interesting? Some of these things that you all are saying when you say cheap discount, grocery shopping, all that stuff, listen, they love it. They actually love that. The Walmart executives will be happy, but you all already know. All you gotta do is look in the news. If I was talking to some labor right advocates, and I said Walmart, y'all know they're going to type in the chat. They're going to start evil corporate giant, unfair labor practices, underpaid employees, right? So you got to be careful with this also, because you have a great deal of control at first over the perceptions of what your audience is starting to think about you. But after a little while and you start to grow, then you don't have as much control as. So what you want to come across as, or how you want to be perceived, might start to be a little different than how the market actually perceives you. And that takes us to the last one. I call it the joy and pain of branding. Y'all know Frankie Beverly and Mays. I'm on my Franklin and Beverly Mays thing. You know, joy and pain, right? So there's a joy and the pain of branding. That is, as your brand loyalty grows, your haters grow too. That's how it is. So for every person that says, oh boy, you know what? Well, that Al Duncan sure does care about helping our young people. With somebody else saying, that don't make no sense. He went over there and they paid him all of that money to come over there and speak. You know, and they got the people there that's the youth workers or the advocates or the counselors or whoever. Hey, this boy that came over there and made all that money. Look what they're making. You know what? Or I don't even know if he really want to help them or not, because he only talked to them for a couple hours and he went back to where he was. Listen, this is how it happens. So just understand, as your brand grows, when they say you got to have thick skin, I do believe you have to have thick skin, but you need to understand why. It's just a natural thing, okay? As your brand loyalty grows, people tend to see the opposites also. That is, the more people who like you that you attract, you also attract more people who don't like you, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. On social media and the YouTube comments, I actually think that's very good. That's actually very good for your conversation. It helps you out a lot, okay? So, yeah, and if everybody likes you, I'm like, I don't know about that. Okay? I don't know if we want to be dealing with all of that. If everybody likes you, I'm wondering if you're actually saying everything correctly. You get me a little worried about that, all right? So, okay, let's keep moving right here. All right, so here are the key principles for really building your persona and your reputation. There's some questions that you need to ask yourself, okay? Some questions that you definitely need. Go ahead, L-Dub. You want to jump in?
I think we can skip over that slide right there.
We can skip this one?
Yeah, that was a duplicate.
Oh, it's a double?
Yep.
Oh, it sure is. I see it right there. Okay, that's funny. Okay, good. All right, so persona, what do you represent to your market? Okay, that's what we're looking for, is what do you actually represent to your market? And this is something for you to think about. To your market, are you going to be fun and engaging? Are you going to be the super knowledgeable person? Are you going to be the advocate? Are you going to be the millionaire maker? These are some things. So let's jump into here and look at these things right here, okay? And actually, you know what, L-Dub, I remember now. You're right. It is a duplicate, but hold on. I'm going to come back to that slide. 1 second. I'm going to tell you why. Because where are our questions, Lawrence? Are they coming up later? Because we got some questions for them, right, that we want them to ask.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. So here we go. How to shape your persona. This is what I'm looking for right here. What value? Oh, time out real quick, just so you all can know something. This is a little insight. I like to step out of the thing, and I like to show y'all. So I'm teaching, but I'm showing you how you build things also. So what happens is when Lawrence and I are partnering up to build, we're talking, this is how it goes. Normally, Lawrence is taking all the notes while we're talking. He is putting the stuff together, putting the slide together, and I'm usually thinking of the stories, the principles, kind of like that I want to tell, or how I want to flow through the thing. And so, just so you all know, what happens sometimes is what's happened right now is that we put the PowerPoint together, and so he's put it together. This is a lesson for you all to know. And when I come to look at it, also, I know all the information is there, but because I'm an extemporaneous speaker, if you all ever saw me speaking live, I actually don't use PowerPoints. I might use a handout where I have people taking notes, but normally I'm very extemporaneous, which means that I don't always present stuff in the exact same order that I might present it in if you saw me before. Okay, so when I get the PowerPoint from Lawrence and I'm talking to you all, I'm just flowing. And sometimes I'm jumping ahead, moving around because I know it's in here somewhere. And then Lawrence got to come in and does a good thing, which is what you should do for your partner. That is, hey, hold on, homie, tag real quick. Let me tell you what's going on and where stuff is. So you all should just keep that in mind because you might partner up with somebody. It's good, but just understand some of the things that can happen inside of there. And also, I'm showing you all another good trick, and that is this. You don't have to strive for what? I keep telling y'all, it ain't perfection, it's connection, okay? Your audience will rock with you as long as you're telling them the right information. If something's a little off and you explain what happened, boom, 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 and you keep moving, it'll be okay. All right. Julia, I know that's what preachers do, man. I know. Okay. All right. So let's keep going right here. Here are the questions that's going to help you shape your persona. Right. So what values and beliefs do you want to share with your audience? Right. Remember at the end of last week when we talked about how to start crafting your brand story? We gave what's the external problem, what's the internal problem, who's the villain, and the last thing we said is what is the core value or belief that you want to share with them about helping them solve their problems, okay? So you should have a little bit of this already. And I'm hoping you all are taking notes or getting a legal pad or whatever you do, but this is stuff you got to write out. You got to think about it during the week, but you got to write it out, type it out, do whatever you do, draw it out. Lawrence is always drawing diagrams. That's his thing. Everything's diagram with Lawrence, everything, and it's good, you know, because it helps us visualize how things are going. So this core belief, right? If you had one and you actually wrote it down for your brand story, you can actually go get that one because that should be one of the ones that you want to share. But think of the rest of them. What values and beliefs do you want to share with your audience? This is going to have a big impact on what you represent to them. Now, when I say represent, I hope y'all understand what I mean by represent. Your audience has one of the things that draws somebody close to you is because they start feeling like you represent something. Julian told Lawrence, I remember Julian Lawrence did one of those Zoom interviews, and if you all haven't done one with Lawrence yet, he probably will be getting around to you. He normally has a one-on-one Zoom interview, okay, and he's asking you what you like about Great Pro Speakers. What else do you want to see? What do you expect to get out of the course? That's us practicing what we preach. That is ask and listen more than you talk and tell. And so Julian, he commented that one of the things he liked, which made me sit up in my seat when I heard him say it, because I was so happy because it's one of my core beliefs and values that we want to establish here in Great Pro Speakers. And he kept saying, he said, I just love when I heard Al say, everybody ain't going to be E.T. Everybody is not going to be Eric Thomas, and you don't have to be Eric Thomas. You don't have to be that famous. You don't have to go viral. You don't have to be that big of a personality or brand in order to be successful. Well, guess what? That's one of our core values and beliefs. We believe that for you, whoever you are, your personality, the way you are, what you bring to the table, you can become successful in the industry with your personality. Now, the thing is that there's certain things we have to put into place. There's certain strengths and weaknesses based on each personality type. There's certain strengths and weaknesses based on how much income you want to make or what you want your lifestyle to be. But we have a core value that it doesn't matter who you are. If you have something of value to share and we can get you in front of the right audience, then there's a potential for you to make money. Now, you might not make as much money as some people. If somebody is talking to a venture capitalist or they're talking to investors or something, yeah, they got a chance to make much more money than somebody that's talking to teens for a living. Okay, but I'm just saying, your personality, what you bring to the table for you, you can be successful and grow the business. Trust me. You show me your personality, I will show you somebody that's like that. That's one of our main core values and beliefs. And that's one of the things that draws certain people to Great Pro Speakers. And therefore, we represent not the super duper celebrity gurus, because some people want them. That's who they want to get next to. That's all they care about getting next to. That's fine. That's fine. That's just not quite what Lawrence and I represent. What we represent is something a little bit different, okay? And so the next questions you can ask are, how do you want to be identified by your audience? So there are labels, associations, and symbols. Keep that in mind. That is, I want my audience to know that I'm a professor. I want my audience to know I'm a mom. I want my audience to know I'm a proud black man. I want my audience to know I'm a Christian. I want my audience to know I'm a Muslim. I want my audience to know I'm an expert. I'm a real estate agent. I am a diversity consultant. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm a preacher. That's what I want my audience to know. Matter of fact, Julian said something else. Julian, you gave me some good stuff in that interview. Julian also said, even one thing he was doing was helping people fix their finances, credit repair, and stuff like that. He said, I can't do that, man. That's not what I want to represent to my market. I don't want to be this is the credit card repair dude. This is the good credit guy. He didn't want to be that. He said, I am a preacher, right? and I'm a project manager, that's what I want my audience to know about me. So therefore, he's understanding what he needs to do to begin to shape his persona, okay? So the other question is, what aspects of my personality do I want to showcase? We're all very complex individuals. And I see a lot of stuff in the chat. I'm checking in 1 second. We're complex. You know, you're fun, engaging. Some of us are laid back. Some of us are outgoing. You know, I'm very outgoing when it's time to speak. But, man, if I'm off camera, if I'm just chilling with my family, man, I'm chill. Like, I don't hang out with a lot of people. I'm a lot more introverted than people think I am. That's just me. So therefore, I have to decide what aspects of my personality do I want to showcase to my audience, because guess what? If I want to be known as a high energy, high content speaker, then I can't be, I got to bring that out. I had to showcase that to the audience, because young people are not going to sit in front of you if you bore them and put them to sleep. You got me? All right. The last question is, what does my communication style say about me? That is verbal and nonverbal. I'm gonna come to the chat right now, because communication style is everything. Do you have a Southern drawl? Guess what? Zig Ziglar was proud of his. He loved it. Me, y'all hear me? I speak clearly. I've learned to enunciate, but you can hear the homie in me. Like that's just where I'm from, and I ain't trying to get rid of that. I'm cool with that. It communicates a certain thing about me, and I'm okay with that. It works very well for my brand and for the audiences that I target. You got me? Now, think about, because even the way you walk, your body language, how you carry yourself on stage, right? For instance, how about George Jefferson? Y'all know that walk. Come on, man. Y'all know the George Jefferson walk. The George Jefferson walk, man. As soon as you saw that thing, right? That clearly he was trying to represent something based on that. So these are the questions that you have to ask yourself. You sit down, right? Okay, you sit down and you ask yourself these 4 questions. It's real simple. What values and beliefs do I want to share with them? I don't have to tell them all of my values and beliefs, but some I got to share. How do I want to be identified? Do I want them to know me by my color? Like Al is known as purple. You pop on my website, that's what you see. Purple is the color of royalty, it's the color of the mental plane. That's what I like. Okay, what aspects of my personality do I want to showcase? I want to showcase the fun and engaging side for me. What does my communication style say about me? It says that I'm down to earth. You know, I know what I'm talking about, but listen, I'm here. I'm right with y'all. You understand what I'm saying? I want that on purpose. This is what I'm looking for. So if you ask yourself these 4 questions, what happens is you start beginning to shape your persona. And remember, I'm not talking about who you are to you and your family or yourself authentically. This is not a value judgment. What I'm saying is that you have to have a persona with your target audience. I hope that makes sense for everybody. Okay, good. All right, so the chat just blew up over here. Any questions over here that I needed to answer, Lawrence? Because I look down, there's like 17 comments over this thing.
I'm trying to answer them. I don't think.
That's fine. If you got them, you got them. I saw a couple things. Somebody said that's the best walk ever. I can't believe you're talking about George Jefferson's walk. I love it.
Janice says she hears the homie and now.
I know she does. Okay. Julia says, I try to be smooth and intellectual. You know what, Julia? And I got that. I got that based on the conversation of you coming across to when you were talking to Lawrence. And you know what? Good. That's fine. As long as I'm just saying you should be aware of it. What happens with a lot of speakers is that they're not conscious, or they didn't make a conscious decision about how I want to shape my persona. Some people do, some people don't. So just be careful. We just want to make sure y'all understand that, okay? All right, and let me look down, see if there's anything else before I keep moving. Somebody say, I hear the homie and Al. That's funny. Janice. Okay. All right, so let's keep moving on to reputation here. All right, so reputation is, what does the market say about you? And not just the market, I mean your audience in general. What do they say about you? So here's the crazy part. You have a tremendous amount of control at first over your persona. That is, what you want to represent to the audience is going to be based on what you exude, those 4 questions. But once they get hold of it, perceptions take hold and they start thinking and they come up with their, they start running with that. It's very difficult. Remember, I told you at some point in time, you can want to be one thing, but with the audience, they just start perceiving you a certain way, and that could be good, could be bad. Just be aware of it, all right? Now, when you say, what does the market say about you, we would all love, every business owner would love to be able to have complete control over what the market says about you. That's very challenging, but there are some things that you can keep an eye on that will help you have better control of what the market says about you, okay? So first thing is your personal proof. And we always start here because for most of you all right here, you've already been successful in other careers. I know I'm talking to a lot of successful people in here tonight right now. Okay, so you're like, okay, I got the education. I got certain types of experience that I've been through. I got credentials. I've accomplished things. I got awards. And, I have accolades. Great. All of that is personal proof that helps to build your reputation. Okay, I got a doctorate degree in this. Cool. You know what? Then obviously for a lot of people, that's your personal proof, but that's also going to start to carry and generate a certain reputation based on your level of education. That's how it is. Okay. Here's a funny thing. Y'all know Les Brown is. Les Brown actually took that whole thing and turned it upside down. So instead of going to, I'm the doctor, I have a doctorate degree, Les Brown actually carried this thing on. I don't have any education. I got a high school education, and I'm still a bad boy. Y'all should love me for that. Me, I'm always telling people I went to Carnegie Mellon University. I got a music deal and left early. So there's ways to frame that. You can still take your education. I'm not saying or your lack of education, depending on how you want to frame it. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. It doesn't matter. I see successful people from the top with doctorate degrees to people who with GEDs making money in the speaking industry, okay? Because it depends on how you frame it. It has a lot to do with your experience also. You have credentials and achievements that can make up the difference for that also, okay? So that's your personal proof. That's the easiest thing to catalog to me. You just have to be careful about what part of your personal proof you want to push forward. Like, for example, I could tell y'all right now that at one point in time, I started working on get my certification as a private investigator because I was thinking about having an armed, thinking about being an executive bodyguard. Yeah, okay, cool, Al. Good experience you had, credentials, this and other. That's no good right now. That personal proof does nothing for what we're talking about right here. So, just because you have personal proof, this is where a lot of people get messed up. Just because I have 30 years experience, that's why I should get paid this money. Or just because I have a doctorate degree, I should get paid $15,000 a keynote. Okay, understand. That's not necessarily the case. It could be, but just keep in mind, that's not how it always works, all right? So you want to make sure with your personal proof that you're picking out of all the stuff that you're great at that you could do. Make sure that you're using this in conjunction with your persona, right? Which is what I want to represent, and what I want them to say about me is my reputation. So that's why you want to pick and choose from here. Okay, I hope that makes sense for you all. All right, let's keep going. Social proof. Wait a minute, I saw the chat blow up again. Let me look real quick. It's killing me. I gotta stop and look at the chat. So what's going on? I love him. Oh yeah, yes, you're right. Les Brown, that Mamie Brown's baby boy, right? That it is. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure, right, or something. I got you. You're right. We're talking about Les Brown. That is his whole hook. That is part of his whole hook. It actually endears him to the audience. They love him for that. How important is consistency in building reputation and personal proof? Good question. Here we go. It needs to be consistent in the sense of you can grow. So in other words, your reputation and your personal proof or your persona and all of this can continue to grow. So you don't have to be the same the entire time. So that type of consistency is not required. You can grow. People like to see that. They like to see that there's nothing wrong with, hey, I've been following the speakers for years, And all of a sudden I found out that this speaker has a new business, or this speaker has a new certification, or this speaker has a new degree, or went back to school and got something else. That's fine. Or this expert went and added this to. All of that's great. That thing is okay. The consistency that matters is you can't be up on stage one time saying, I got a doctorate degree from this university, and then 3 weeks later, you're saying I got a doctorate degree, and you done forgot your lie and said it was from a whole different university. That's not cool, right? So yes, consistency is important in that once people begin to say things about you, that is, this guy is fun and engaging. Well, if that's my reputation and a counselor is bringing me into school, or this guy is knowledgeable, and Janice or Jana, somebody who's been through the first master class, went and recommended us to somebody else, and I come in here and all of a sudden I'm stuck on stupid, well, that's a problem. So that type of consistency has to be there. Okay, you got me. So you got to be consistent at the good things that you're constantly doing, and your proof can't all of a sudden change from minute to minute, especially proof that should have been verifiable and that was there the whole time. Go ahead, L-Dub.
Yeah, I just want to add a couple of thoughts into that because, there's something I think a lot about too in terms of brand consistency, in terms of what are you saying? What is your audience and your customers thinking and feeling about you? Because everything with the brand eventually goes back to the KRLT model as well, right? So does your audience know you? Do they remember you? Do they like you? Do they trust you? And as you're building that connection, because you have to remember what the purpose of your brand is. If we're taking a step back, the purpose of your brand is to build a relationship with your customer base, right? So it's to get them to know you, remember you, like you, and trust you. And that is the definition of the relationship that you're actually building. So when you talk about consistency, it's those messages every single day that is going to make that happen. It's going to strengthen that relationship with your customer. So for example, I'll take Boyce, for example, to be, if I'm thinking about it, no matter what he says or what he talks about, he always ties it back to Black financial empowerment or the Black core of three or something like that, right? So no matter how many videos, how many live streams he's doing, if he's talking about something finance related, it's always going back to the Black core of three, right? And I think that is just the consistent message, and I think that shows the value or the importance of creating those strong values and beliefs, because that's what's going to permeate through the rest of your brand and really through the rest of your business as you continue to grow and grow your platform.
Yep, absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And, I see you all in the chat talking about DL. That's right. There's DL. Michael Max was an autodidact. Okay, that means he taught himself. He didn't go through school. Chris Rock dropped out of school, got GD. There's tons of people. So my whole point is this. This is why, if you notice, we're telling you to ask questions. And I kept saying that, we found this is very important. That is, it's your business, okay? So be proud of who you are. Okay, we all got things we know we can improve on. That's fine. That's neither here nor there. But just because I know I got things improving on me, I got to be proud that I can't be proud of who I am and what I represent and the things I've accomplished. So be proud of who you are, right? Tell the truth. If you got a degree, you got one. If you don't, you don't. That's fine. Okay. And especially in front of the audience, you got to be careful. And I struggle with that sometimes. I used to tiptoe around that because you understand, I get brought to a lot of colleges. So for years, unless they asked me directly, I was like, well, I'm not going to say that I left college early. Right. But if I got asked a direct question, I never lied about that thing. That you cannot do, not that. That's when I told you, is it credible, believable, and or verifiable? It's very easy to verify your college credentials, right? That's easy. That's like one of the easiest things to verify. So you got to be careful about that. But my whole point is that your persona, that is what you want to represent, and your reputation, what you want them to say about you, understand this is you. This is who you are. You got a right to be who you are and grow your business the way you want to grow it and represent what you want to represent. And to feel like I want people saying certain things about me because that's how I want to be perceived. And that's your right. You can do that. It just, you got to put in the work and shape that and understand what comes along with that. So there might be other hurdles that you have to overcome to deal with that. I did. There were certain things that were challenging for me, because when I walk in the door and the first question is, well, we want you to come. We want you to be a graduation speaker. And they asked me about the cap and gown, and I'll put the thing on and show them. See, now this is a difficult situation. I have to explain this and talk to them about this. I don't have an undergraduate degree. Okay, so therefore, did I lose some graduation speeches because of that? Nobody ever said anything to me directly, but I wouldn't be surprised. It's okay. These things happen. No big deal, because I've done plenty of them at colleges, high schools, and even middle schools. Okay, so just understand, when I say what you want to put forth or what you want to represent or what you want them saying about you, this is a matter of your personal choice, but just keep in mind you're trying to grow a business and be successful. And the other thing I always tell people to keep in mind right here, it's not in the slide either, and that is this. This is Duncan Nugget number 40. A person's definition of you does not define you. So don't get it twisted, right? Now, it's one thing to be talking about, I want people to say this about me, or I want them to think this about me because I'm doing business. But I ain't trying to hear that. Nobody going to define who I am. Like, that's not going down. Nobody gets to define who you are either. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Okay, so I just want to be careful, because I don't want people tiptoeing and thinking, oh my God, I can't, oh man, I'm just so embarrassed about X, Y, Z. Listen. We all got something to be embarrassed about, but that's not how it is. This is called authenticity and transparency. That's actually power. That is powerful with an audience. You want to talk about some show fire power with an audience? Let them see you got enough heart to stand on stage and say, ha ha, here I is, right? Here I am. This is me, right? And I have something to offer that's valuable. The audience loves stuff like that. Okay, just keep that in mind. All right, so let's keep moving right here. So we're looking at social proof now. So here's the thing with social proof, referrals and introductions. Boy, it's hard to be the referral. You know what? Hey, I saw Jana. I saw Latanja. You saw something, man. I saw. Like with my own, you know what? And you need to bring her in to come speak. Or, you know what? I met somebody real cool the other day. I'd like to introduce the two of you. That's a lot of social proof, especially if the person doing the introduction has a lot of clout and credibility with the other person you're being introduced to. Okay, so you love that. You're looking for social proof. That's we're talking about your reputation, right? Okay. All right, testimonials. Everybody knows that. They're great. Testimonials from current clients, customers, audience members, all of that stuff is great. Now, client lists, those work very well. Client lists are important because if you go to certain places like Coca-Cola, it's hard to get a testimony from Coca-Cola. A lot of the employees are not even allowed to give out testimonials anymore. Just so you ever know, I'm here in Atlanta. I'm telling you, go speak at Coca-Cola, it's going to be hard to get a direct testimonial from someone at Coca-Cola. You got me? Very challenging. All right, so some people and some clients, you need to have a client list. That holds a lot of weight. You see them all over speaker sites. You should see them all over consultant sites. If you are a real estate agent, I don't care who it is. Boom, boom, boom. And people do this all the time. How many times you've been sitting in your house, somebody come knocking on the door? For those of y'all, you know, they got houses. Some of y'all probably living in condos. You got apartments, depending on what city you're in. So, but you're sitting there and they knock on the door and say, hey, I'm so-and-so from such and such pressure washing or insecticide or home remodeling. I was just down the street with your neighbor, right? Now, they don't have no testimonial from the neighbor. The neighbor did not refer them to me, but what they're trying to do is, in front of my eyes, create a client list. We just worked on your neighbor's house, right? So now, maybe you'd like us to work on yours. They do this all the time. So when you show up somebody's website and it says I appeared on NBC, ABC, I was on CNN, or I spoke to these corporate organizations, or here, this, and other, that's great social proof, all right? So you got media appearances and mentions. That means when an appearance is I was actually on TV, or they did an article or something about me, or maybe you were just mentioned in the article or quoted in the article as an expert. You know, those are all good things as well. Social media followers. Nowadays, that's a new one. So social media followers can be a lot of social proof, especially for some people. If they land on your website, somebody like, oh, shoot, Hold on, this girl, you got like 100,000 IG followers. What is going on? Who are you? I never even heard of you. So a lot of times for people, that is also social proof, social media follows, okay? So it doesn't matter what social proof you're going to lean on. You need it. You need as much in all of these as you can get. I'm just telling you, if you're talking about straight dollars in the bank, them referrals and introductions, no joke. Okay, testimonials are right there too. But a referral, that's y'all know in sales, they call that a warm lead or a hot lead, man. Your eyes light up when you get one of them. All right, good. So I see some things in the chat. Let me check real quick. Good. That just happened to me this week. Came by and said, we're here setting up your neighbor with solar, whatever, right? Happens all the time. Always, it happens all the time. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Okay, good. So let's keep moving right here. So there's the last one. That is the first-hand interaction. Now, to me, nothing beats this. That is, so-and-so didn't tell me about it. So-and-so didn't introduce me. Okay, I don't care about your client list, this X, Y, Z. What happened is I sat down myself and I heard Dennis speak. Okay, you see what I'm saying? I heard Julian, it's different. I heard Kusana, it's totally different. I bought so-and-so's book and read it myself. I got the thing. Nothing beats firsthand interaction. As a matter of fact, if you all look at it and you go back, think about this. Firsthand interactions actually create the other ones I was talking about. So if you got personal proof, that is, I've been on my job for 30 years. Well, you only got your job because of a firsthand interaction, more than likely, okay? And unless your dad owned a company, well, then that's still a firsthand interaction because it's your father, right? So if you got personal proof, I got a college degree, which means that somebody interviewed you, you fill in the application, the essay, the whole thing. That means they checked you out firsthand and decided, sure, we'd like to have you as a student, okay? Somebody hired you. Guess what? That happened as a result of a firsthand interaction. If somebody gave you a testimonial that you're using to get another client or customer, well, guess what? Referrals, introductions, testimonials, all that stuff comes from the other person had a firsthand interaction with you and they absolutely loved you. Now, why is firsthand interaction so important? Because I don't care how much personal proof or social proof you got. If somebody has a firsthand interaction with you and it ain't right, that's pretty much game over. That's going to be very challenging. Or I don't care how much the rest of the world is hating on you. If somebody had a firsthand interaction with you and they're like, I love her. She is great. You win. You win. They will get right on YouTube, everywhere else, and defend you as if it were you defending yourself, okay? We call them brand ambassadors or brand evangelists. So what happens is firsthand interaction is the gold standard. Now, think about this. I tell you all the time. You said, and me and Lawrence have discussed this a little bit, and that is, well, in order to get to the firsthand interaction, do you have to have personal proof? I need some type of education credentials. I need achievements. I need something over there first. And do you have to have social proof? Do I need a referral introduction? Do I need client lists? Do I need testimonials? Do I need social media followers? Do I have to have that before I can even get to the first-hand interaction? You know what? In most cases, a lot of cases, yes. But every now and then, this is why as a subject matter expert, you got to always be ready. This is why I'm always challenging y'all, what's your core marketing message? What do you want to represent? Because you never know if you're sitting in first class, you're sitting in coach, and you start talking to somebody, that's a first-hand interaction. I can't tell you how many gigs I done got sitting on an airplane talking to somebody that had a first-hand interaction with me. They ain't seen my website yet. They ain't seen nothing else yet. By the time I'm getting off the plane, it's, oh, no, Al, I'm going to call you. Okay, I'm going to call you later on. You know what? I'm ready to do this. And you say, can we get some dates? Can you pencil in this date for me? That's happened to me quite a bit. Now, I'm sure they get off the plane and go to Google just to double check, right, on things. But then there's also my very first speaking engagement that I had, I told y'all about, that I got paid for. I just up talking to Toastmasters, man. This woman wasn't there to look at me. She wasn't there to do anything. She heard me speak herself, liked to talk, and at the end came up and asked me if I would come talk to her college students. That's a first-hand interaction. hadn't been to my website, didn't need anything else. I'm talking about right there on the spot, we booked the gig. So please understand the power of firsthand interactions. Never take them for granted, okay? All right, checking the chat real quick.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to add something there too. So firsthand interaction with everything else, but especially this piece of it, you're going to see it permeate through the entire course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially as we get to content and monetization and the importance of creating a great product experience for your customer, even at the very, very early stages as well, right? Because there's no better customer to sell than the customer that you already have, right? And to develop and build that relationship. So that's why your low dollar items, your free things, your free content needs to be great, because that's how they experience you. That's how they experience you firsthand, and get that interaction with you firsthand, to trust enough that you're going to deliver on the higher price information, and so on and so forth, to continue to develop that relationship over time. So referrals and introductions are great, but what beats that is firsthand interaction. And we were even debating, me and Al, like, firsthand interaction may be the only thing that beats celebrity, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that may be the only thing that beats celebrity too, when you're talking about an individual customer.
Yep, depending on what they want. Because as long as it's not about, okay, I got to fill this room, and the room is going to be filled based on who's going to be at the event. Now, that's hard to be celebrity for that. But what I'm telling you is, I've had people who've seen me speak and have been sitting in a committee, right? And they're looking at all these other celebrity speakers and who else can come. And they're sitting there like, I'm telling y'all, I saw him. I've never seen anybody capture the audience of students like he did. Like he had them all 1,000 of them was focused on him. Nobody was causing no problem. They were listening. So when you get somebody like that, that could help you beat celebrity. And y'all know, I tell you, celebrity beats everything in the industry. But a firsthand interaction creates such a strong connection with people, and such strong, it's beyond customer delight. It's well beyond customer satisfaction, that you might even be able to beat celebrity sometimes, okay? All right, good. So now I see a couple questions in here. I need a better way of getting my testimony. Okay, I need a better way of getting all my testimonials uploaded to my site. I am thinking of just getting a college kid to do it. Okay. I believe in interns if you got a good one. I had no problem with that, Carmelita. I am also thinking about hosting an appreciation event with some of my stronger testimonial contributors to do quick videos. Thoughts, helpful, or extra? Okay, first of all, if you can do an event where you can get some, it's a special event and you can get some people to give you testimonials on video, that's great. I say go for it. What worst can happen is you leave with one testimonial or you leave with none. Well, that's what you had at first, okay? Listen, I'm one of them people. I'm like, let's go for it. So, and I like video testimonials. I would take a big chance on getting video testimonials anytime I could. I did their written testimonials on my website, but there's whole videos of students and administrators and people talking. And soon when people land on Great Pro Speakers, guess what? We're going to have video testimonials from y'all. Trust me. So I'm with you, Carmelita. If you can get them, if you want to have some type of special event for them and you can work that out, that's fine. I'm not sure what you mean by you're having trouble getting your testimonials uploaded to your site. You want to jump in there, Lawrence?
Yeah. No, I want to jump in there on the first point. And
okay, go ahead. Yeah.
What we were talking about earlier in terms of the types of testimonials that, one may want to get, right? Mm-hmm. Because I put a comment responding to Carmelita beneath, saying that you may or may not want to upload all of your testimonials,
right?
But just upload the best ones that are that resonate with your target market and your target audience, or excuse me, your target audience, right? Because the two best types of testimonials are, one is, actually this might be number two, but one is celebrity. Celebrity testimonials by someone who has some type of name recognition that people already trust. But then the second type is someone who is just like your target customer. And I think that is something that's often overlooked, is finding those testimonials of people who are just like the person that's currently looking at the program, and saying something like, I was in your shoes once. I was feeling the exact same way that you were feeling, and here's how Carmelita's program transformed my life. Here's how Great Pro Speakers transformed my life. So, as that relates to, let's say, Great Pro Speakers, we may go out and get some testimonials from, the high profile speakers that are, already in Great Black Speakers, for example, have them go through the program and get those types of testimonials. But the most powerful testimonials will align with our 3 buyer personas, right? Mm-hmm. So are you a full-time or aspiring professional speaker? Are you a consultant, entrepreneur, or sales professional looking to win more clients? Or are you a what's the third one now? A professor, executive, or subject matter expert, who is looking to gain credibility or speak on the side. So we would look for testimonials that match one of those 3 types of personas. More so, probably even more so than we would even look for celebrity testimonials, because it means more to the person that you're presenting to. It's like, this other person had my exact same problem, and that's how they solved it. I'm a perfect example of that too. My wife gets really upset at me about this sometimes, but human nature, I think, to a certain degree, is when I'm trying to lose weight, it's hard for me to listen to her because she's always been skinny, right? She's always been skinny. She's always been in shape. What I need is that fat dude, who's lost 70 pounds or whatever it might be, and I want to know what they did. Yeah, not what my wife does in terms of how she eat healthy, that type of thing. But I want to know what the other person did, because I feel like they were just like me.
Yeah.
Received, or they've completed the outcome that I wanted to complete. So I think that's an important thing to really discuss as we talk about testimonials.
I agree with that. Wholeheartedly. It is very important. That's very important. And I can't help you with that one, Lawrence, because I always been the skinny dude myself.
That's right. Y'all I don't want to hear what you got to say. You
don't want to hear this from me. You're like, Al, you can eat anything, man. I want to hear that. So you said just the time and technology of it, Al. I got you. Yes. So here's my thing. Other people's time, other people's energy, other people's money, other people's knowledge. In other words, if you can take advantage of that, do it. Okay, so if you can have an intern or somebody else can help you with your website, please do it. Trust me, if you can get them some type of user access and you say, you know what, hey, I just need you to go a couple of these testimonials, take it, edit it, put it up there for me. That's great. Okay. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. Now, I saw something from Dennis also, too. Let me scroll up and see what Dennis said. Dennis said, what would I say to a group of individuals like this, a community of people, is to do a study of what is called appreciative inquiry. Yep. This works for any community of people. Gotcha. I got you. Okay. What you do for the community is to begin to appreciate what it is to be in the future in each other. Okay. So I think that sounds like that's more of a comment, Dennis. Okay. I thought you were asking a question at first. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. So you're saying what you would say to a group of individuals like this, like a community of people, is to do what's a study called an appreciative inquiry. Yep. I agree with that. Makes sense. Makes sense a lot. And as a side note too, Dennis, I saw your email. I saw it. I just recently saw it, and I'm gonna get back with you. Don't worry, man. Okay. You weren't here last week. We got to make sure you fill out the form, Dennis. This is a side note for everybody who's missing it. Remember, we got the whole new system that's set up. Lawrence will come on at the end and explain it again. But now there's actually a Q&A form on Great Pro Speakers or in the course, over in the course library, where you can ask a question, right? You fill out the form, ask your question, and we can give back to you in a video response, okay? Because we feel like, well, first of all, that's better value for you. The other thing is, it helps me with all the typing and everything. So just keep that in mind, Dennis. We'll make sure you get signed up with that, because I think you missed that, all right? All right, good. So let's keep going. Anything else you wanted to add here, L-Dub? Good to go? Okay. All right, so homework. Y'all ready? Here we go. Now, we just gave y'all, we gave y'all some steps, but we didn't give y'all some actual tangible homework the last 2 weeks. We gave you tangible homework the very first week. Last couple of weeks, we've been letting you play around with things on your own, but now we got some actual homework for you, and I'm explaining to you why. It's very simple right here. okay? We want two things. And when I say we want them, that means I'm going to actually ask. We're going to read them. We're going to look and see. They're only 150 words. Generally, it takes me 90. If I was reading them actually out loud, 150 words is about the length of one of my Duncan Nuggets. If I'm recording a video, that usually takes me 90 seconds or less or so. All right? So doesn't take that long. Now, to write them, we're looking for 150 words or less, biography, based on where you are currently. That is, right now, if someone wanted to book you for a gig, if someone, if you were a client, if you were trying to sell a client on a webinar or something like that, so you can get them to come to the webinar or come to a actual workshop, and you wanted him or her to know who you are or what's going on, read a little bit about you, give me a 150-word bio based on what you're doing right now currently. Listen, some of y'all are already going to be like, well, I'm not doing that much, Al. I'm still working on it. That's my whole point. It's okay. It's okay. I just got finished saying, regardless of who you are, we're going to work on getting your social proof, your personal proof, right? We're going to get all of this into a bio. We're going to get so if you have your niche, if you don't, I told you we're going to work on that in a second for some of you all. You got your position, that is your core marketing message or your positioning statement, okay? And you got some of your core beliefs and philosophies. You know what you want to represent, that's your persona. You know what some people have said about you, right? That's your reputation. Then guess what? You have more than enough to write a 150-word bio that's going to start to incorporate all of that and help you differentiate yourself from everybody else in the market already. I read too many speakers' bios, and them things are ridiculous. Everybody using the same words, describing the same thing. I can do the same thing, and I do the same thing for you, especially for motivational speakers. I remember one time I was looking at speakers' website. I must have went to about, I was counting for a little while. And you know, I went through like 12, 15 websites or something. And out of them 15, I think 11 of the bios had the word, he's a dynamic, dynamic and captivating speaker. That phrase just kept showing up over and over again. I was like, oh my God. And you know why I was saying, oh my God? Because it was actually in my bio too. And guess who? Real quick, I went and took that thing right out of my bio. So, okay. 150-word bio based on where you are currently. In your bio, let me say it again. We're looking for, I want to hear a little bit about your target market, okay? That is your niche, your audience, your position in there. Want a little bit about your personal proof, your social proof, whatever that is for you, okay? If somebody said something about you real quick, if you want to throw that in there, that's fine. You don't have to, but this is a 150-word bio. No, we're not editing for grammar and all that stuff. I don't care about that. I'm looking for the actual contents of your bio, okay? Now, the other thing we're going to do is I want you to, we also want to see a 150-word bio or less, 150 words or less, based on what you would like your brand to be 2 years from now. That is, okay, I know why I joined Great Pro Speakers. I got some things I want to work on. I got some places I wish I had spoken at, a certain number of people that I would have liked to have spoken to, or a book or something that I'm currently writing that's not available yet, but it will be 2 years from now to be done or whatever. And notice I didn't go 5 years. We just said 2 years because we're one of those like 18 months. We should be seeing some good stuff here. You know what I'm saying? Like by the time you finish the course itself, you're going to have a whole lot of tangible things to work with, a whole lot of pieces to the puzzle. What I'm saying is in your business, it could take anywhere from, 2 to 5 years. It just depends on people. I've seen some people explode. Some people take a little longer. But that does not mean we don't have growth in making money. I was making money long before my business was stable. Okay, but I was still able to make money, and we want to see that for you all also. So you got this is probably the most homework we've given you for the whole course, because I want to see, we got an actual 300 words that you need to take a little time to write if possible, okay? So your future bio and your current bio. Now let me check the chat. Is anybody confused about that? And somebody says, Janice says, Dubai. So Janice, this is what I'm going to say. We're going to be taking a look at everybody's bio over the next few weeks. So do your best to get it done. I will say
I'm gonna say
within
next week.
I was going to say
Monday.
we push hard. So I'm going to say next Monday. Okay. If it's not done by next Monday, okay, then I get to mess with you a little bit. But I understand y'all grown. You know, y'all got work, different things going on. But I'm going to say next Monday. We like to push. Okay. Here's the question. Ray is like, how do we send it? You see this, L Dub? So here's my thing. Okay, that's no problem. Don't worry about that. What's going to happen is just make sure you have it, because when we get on next week, Lawrence is going to post the link, and we're going to add it right to your we're going to be added right to your speaker profile. Okay? So we will work on that. I just want you to put it in the form. You're going to have it. Some of you all, I'm going to say, you know what? We're going to either have you send it to us, you know, email, whatever we're going to do. We'll decide. We'll decide about that.
I'm thinking the Q&A.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the Q&A. I was getting ready to say that, but that's what you want to do, L-Dub?
Yeah. So if you guys want us to review the bio beforehand or after, just whenever.
That's what I would suggest.
Yeah. Please send it through the Q&A.
So what you could do is write your bio, then copy it, the 150-word one. You know, go to the Q&A, type in my bio, okay? Paste it in there. There's no limit on that thing. The form is forever, okay? Then you could go ahead. Dennis said, what? I guess you're talking about when it's due. So the next one, then skip a little space and put the other one down there, or if you want to do the other form again. Because, Lawrence, there's no word limit on that form, right? We got an unlimited box in there?
I think it's 250 words.
Okay, so you got to do 2. So you'll send 2 of them. Just say your name.
Or you know, I can easily upload or increase the word limit. So I'll just increase the word limit.
Increase the word limit to about 500, so they have room to leave some spaces and stuff. All right, so there you go. We took care of that to make it nice and easy for you all. And this is one of those ones, if no, Carmelita, you didn't miss it. We were working it out. She's like, do we upload them somewhere? Okay, so this is one of those ones where we can help you a whole lot. Some of y'all be like, okay, you want help. You don't realize how much we can help you just by looking at your bio. That gives us so much insight into your thinking, what you're trying to do, because you said, because we got a current bio and a future bio. I am telling you, this thing right here can help you out tremendously. So make sure, okay, this is one of those ones where you're like, okay, I got to do this one. Just like I pushed you all, and I will again soon, to do those some of your videos when we were in the last master class. This one I'm pushing. Got to get these bios, all right? Any other questions about the bios? Is anybody confused? Anybody confused about these? Okay. Out of these bios, we can help you. We know where you're headed, what you want to do. It gives us product ideas. It gives us seminar topics. It gives us an idea about target markets and other target markets that can help you out. Okay, things of that nature. All of these things are there. All these things are there. And Janice said, no confusion here. Good. As a side note, I always like to tell you all, so when you're giving the audience instructions and you want them to do something, you got to make sure they understand it. So a lot of people like to say, are there any questions? That's perfectly fine. Because I deal with students and young people so many times, I have gotten out of it, just me, myself personally, I don't say to people, do you have any questions only? I say a lot of times, y'all hear me say over and over again, I say, is anybody confused? Because that's a different thing, because they might raise their hands and say, I'm confused, but they might not ask a question. All right. And so I want to make sure there's no confusion. I'm just telling y'all that's just a little side note thing that I do. I'm always saying, is anybody confused? Okay. All right. Let's keep moving from there. All right. Good. So we're good. Go ahead, L.
Last slide. So I'll walk you guys through both on the Great Pro Speaker side and also the Black Expert.
You're going to take over? Good.
Yeah. Just real quick before we get to the hot seats.
I'm going to stop right here. So I'm going to stop. You're going to take over, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. Kusana said, I like this. Great.
All right, cool. So here we go. So this is the Great Pro Speakers class on the Great Pro Speakers website. And this is, when you look at the class curriculum, there's a I guess, link right here that says ask a question to Alan Lawrence. You click that, the form pops up and this is where we want you to paste your bio. So I increased the word max to 500, up from 250. So you can put both, both parts of your bio up in there, your current version and your future state. So then all you gotta do is press submit, or if you just want to upload your bio in terms of a Word document or something like that, you can do it down here too. So either one will work will work for us.
Yep, and there's room for you to upload 2 files.
And this is the way it looks in the Black Business School. So if you are a part of Black Expert Empire, you go to the Great Pro Speakers course. Under General Overview, there's something that says Ask a Question to Alan Lawrence, and it's the exact same form as the last one I just showed as well.
Okay. Is anybody confused? Everybody's got it? All right, good. Okay, so I see one question in the Q&A. Let's take a look at that. Deonte, get ready, man. We're about to check out your video. You're going to be up. Who else did you say is on the hot seat? Who said they didn't have their niche yet? That was Kelly, right?
Yep, so 3 people. So we have Deonte, Kelly, and Troy.
Okay. Deonte, Kelly, and Troy. We're going in that order. Deonte, Kelly, and Troy. All right. So a couple things. You got to let us know when we bring you on. So a couple questions we're going to ask so you can get yourself together. That is, we're going to ask, are you ready? And we're going to ask, do you want us to see you on video? That's an important question. Yeah. Because I don't know what you're sitting up there doing, what you're looking like. But we would like to see you if possible. If not, that's fine too. Okay. So we will.
Hey, Deonte, I need that link to your video too.
Oh, Deonte, are you there? Yeah, he was there a couple times. Deonte, go grab that from YouTube. Go get that link. We had it last week that we didn't get to it, but give us the link to the video. He's over there. Give him a second to grab that. And in the meantime, Troy, what is Troy going to be working on, L-Dub? Did he say?
Yeah, he said a little earlier. I think it had to do with your niche. Is that right, Troy? In terms of defining
okay, he's working on the niche too. Okay, good. There's the link from Deonte. Okay. All right. We'll look this so you all know. We're going to look at 5 minutes of Deonte's video, and I'm going to give him 3 to 5 minutes of feedback. Okay. Because what we're doing is, and if there's any extra feedback, what we're going to start doing is we're going to start moving that over to Bonjoro, because that will help us get more people into the group coaching and keep me more on focus with my help and my advice. Okay. All right, good. So you can bring you on. You ready, Deonte? You want to see the video? It's video, yes or no? Can we show you a video? When he says, I think he means, yeah, we can show. Okay, let's roll.
All right, cool.
So we'll bring him on, and then we'll show the video. Let's talk to him and see what's going on with him first. There he is, my man. He got his hat on this time.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Nothing too much, man. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. Hey, everybody. How everybody doing?
Everybody they've been doing good. Yep. Okay. All right, Deonte. So is there anything you want to prep or let us know about this video before we start watching it? Where should we start in the clip? Is there a certain place you want us to start?
Well, you can start. I mean, it's just a little, like I said before, my son taped it.
Okay.
The volume may, well, more so just sound may be a little off, but
that's okay.
That's just from the point the video is starting. That's the young lady finishing up introducing me. So
okay,
once she's walking off right there, I'm starting.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I thank you. I appreciate the introduction. Also, give thanks to Principal Thornton, Dr. Boyce, and the senior class manager for giving the opportunity to speak to you guys tonight. And also, want to give a congratulations to George Washington Carter, early college. You know, I remember we were standing in front of Kmart, and that's the lady that came by the store here today. Sometimes you get the offer, sometimes you got to pour, and every now and then you got to bless you. And I remember one particular day, this one brother, he came into the store, he had seen the towel on the briefcase, and he kept sticking in my head, he had a briefcase. And he went and talked to the Asian store owners, and he wouldn't really have a discussion with him, he was fussing at him. Now just put it in context, you know, all over those 80s and 90s, the store owner would talk to everybody in the neighborhood any kind of way. And everybody was like it was normal. So what caught my God to his brother, he was just talking to him, waving his finger in the store, and just bobbing his head. So me and my buddy, we just froze. And what caught me was, for some odd reason, is that briefcase. I don't know why I did it, but just that really, I liked it for some reason. And kind of inspired me one day I can get me a briefcase. Fast forward, I went to Charles called for high school, and we had a financial services MAG program. And part of the MAG program, you had to do an internship at the bank. So I did my internship at the First Union Bank in downtown Cape. And we go in, I see some old brothers in there working, bed suits, ties, the briefcases, and these folks had their own offices. So I'm really tripping. Like I see that these brothers in their offices and everything. And I got inspired. See these men calling shots and everything. And I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. Okay? So I set all my sights and focus on doing just that. I want to go get me suit, work downtown and everything. And like I said, I had my focus. I had the best of focus because I was a typical 7 to 18-year-old. Probably my most important focus was girls. So they just threw me out off track. So unfortunately, I missed an opportunity to get a Hope Scholarship. So, you know, I didn't do well on anything like that. I was the first one in my family to go to college. So I really didn't have a lot of mentorship, but I didn't, you know, use it as a crutch. So I listened to the U.S. Army. And I love the military. The military taught me discipline, professionalism, attention to detail, and how to handle stress. And the Army had lifelong friends. I traveled all over the world. But when it was time to get out, I got out. So when I got out of the Army, I moved in and now it's time to put that plan in action in terms of, you know, getting that office downtown. So I rolled at Elementary College, and then from there I went to Georgia State. Did a couple of internships here and there after the boom. I got my first job working in corporate America, downtown, and I had suit and tie and everything. And I was so proud and I felt I had arrived. Now, coincidentally, at the same time, I started my little tax deal. Just want to make a little side, and I had no kind of aspirations I want to do. Just decided to start a business. My family had this, they were so proud of me, they know how hard I had pushed to get that done. But a few years passed, and guess what, guys? I got bored. And that thing I had pushed for half of my life, I did, was working out for it. Coincidentally, there was a tax business started rolling broken ship. The issue they had bothered me at the job was I hit that proverbial glass ceiling, where no matter how hard I worked, no matter what I did, I would never be a position for advancement. If I did a normal corporate thing, come in and work hard, come in early, leave late, got my master's degree, but it wasn't going to happen. So I started thinking to myself, you know, you're going to do this, you know, 10 years, maybe you should go out there and try to do your own thing. And
okay, cool. All right. First, Deonte, man. So, first of all, you look sharp up there, brother. I can't see what you got on, but that suit, you know, you looking sharp. So I like that. And now I went to, this is how I usually go. I usually go good, bad, you know, needs improvement, good, bad, the ugly, all that type of thing.
Okay.
You're a military guy, so I don't have to sugarcoat stuff with you. You already know I'm on your team and I like you. So I'm assuming I can get to good feedback for you, true. That's right?
That's all I need, honestly.
Okay, I got you. That's what I thought. I'm just making sure. Now, y'all notice how I start to make sure, because depending on who you're talking to, if this is for you all that are going to be doing any coaching or dealing with people, you have to be very careful about how you approach people. Some people, you don't have to do the sandwich thing with that. That is positive. Here's for room for improvement, and then end with something positive. Some people are similar to me. That is, nah, I know you cool with me. You can go ahead and get to it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I am. Lawrence is kind of like that a little bit too. Like Lawrence likes to get to it, like, you know, and so that doesn't mean we don't want to be encouraging, but I just want you all to understand that when you're doing group coaching, for those of you that ever want to do that, you always got to be very cognizant of who you are talking to, because you're trying to give them the feedback and information in the manner, not only not give them stuff that's good for them, but you're trying to give it to them in the manner that's most relatable for them. I hope you all understand that, okay? All right, good. So now, a couple things. I know that sound quality is irritating you because that's the first thing you said. That is a little irritating. So this would not make a great demo video. However, it is good for what we're looking for this purposes right here. But this is not something, that video itself is not something I will put on my website to highlight, only because the opening, it takes a little while for my ears to adjust to get past the echo and hear what you're saying, and that's precious time if it was an event planner, okay? So this works good for that, but we're gonna put this video in the archives only because of the sound quality. I got dozens of videos that happened to me on, okay? So next time when you do this, what you're gonna do is you can have your son record it also, right? That's challenging with that, I understand that, and you got two other options, okay? You can either go to Amazon. I'll show you right here because I just got me one. You can go to Amazon and get you one of these. Lawrence is telling me to get one. You see this right here?
Okay.
This costs like $40. This is a wireless lavalier setup, and it comes with this little adapter right there. You can plug this thing in right here, plug it into the jack where your iPhone is or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And the sound is going, you might be able to use it to record the sound right there. Or if you got a standalone camcorder, you can use this, hold the mic that you're speaking in, and take the lapel mic from your recorder that you're gonna have, right? And I got it sitting right here, and clip that to your jacket or whatever, down lower beneath the other microphone, and you can talk, and your audio can go straight to the camera. You feel me?
Okay, cool.
Go ahead. L-Dub got something else. Go ahead, Lawrence.
Yeah, no, I think that's good advice if you can pull it off, because it's easy, but it's one additional step.
Right.
What I do when I record my wife's yoga video, she has a yoga platform for people of color, right? So when I'm recording her yoga videos, we just record the audio and the video separate.
Okay.
Right. So we'll get it's called a Zoom H1 handy recorder, and attach that to a lavalier mic as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then just press record before I go on stage, right? And then as long as the person recording it never stops the video, like when you start and they don't stop it or anything like that, you will have synced up sound, like sound quality, right? So eventually you have to go back and match the sound that you have from your H1 video recorder that's in your pocket or whatever back to the video. But you know that's okay in terms of getting the raw footage and getting the raw sound.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I agree with that too. You had a digital recorder, right?
But it was in my jacket, and it was.
And you didn't have a mic attached to it.
No. And I sent it to fiber to get like several guys to do it, but it's still muffled. So I bought that.
That's okay. That is. I need lavalier mic. So it's a little condenser mic. Lawrence is right. So there's two different things here. The one I just showed you is a whole lavalier wireless mic setup. That's fine. But if you should have both, because I agree with Lawrence. I carry that same digital recorder. I got one just like the one you and Lawrence are talking about, and I have a little $10 condenser mic or something that I got from Radio Shack or somewhere, and it plugs right into the digital recorder, and that mic sits up there on my collar, so that when I'm moving around, it's not muffled, it's not rustling anything. Okay, and so you can use that as well. All right, because you could just as easily have, if the video didn't turn out good, if your audio turned out good, then you know what we would have did. I would have told you to go get some still shots, put them together, and just put the audio underneath the still shots, you know, or the montage of the pictures of you up in front of the room. and then you could have played the thing. Or you could have did just like Lawrence is saying also, you could have lined it up with the video. All right, so for you and for everybody else too, but especially where you are right now, you got to say, I got to put a priority on the audio. People will forgive poor video quality. I want you all to hear this, but they ain't forgiving the audio. If I'm trying to hear what you're saying, like the video quality is a little off. People can see that, it's live camera footage. I mean, it's certain things they'll be like, okay, that doesn't bother me as much as I can't hear what this dude is saying. That's going to drive people nuts. You got me? All right, good. Now, so let's go to the actual content. That was some technological stuff right there. One other option, I don't know if it works on YouTube. You will have a hard time, but you can also do, YouTube will transcribe it or do closed captions for you sometimes, but they might have a hard time hearing that audio also. But you should try it. Go back into your YouTube editor, go back to the studio editor for YouTube and see if they can help transcribe that for you, or if they can't, then the only other option you will have is you will have to upload your own transcription. I do that with Duncan Nuggets. A lot of times since it's only 150 words, I take the 150 words, I upload it into Google, and Google lines that up automatically. So when people go look at the transcript or they're looking at, trying to follow closed caption, it's in there. Like Google finds out where I am. Obviously, it doesn't understand every single word, but it can tell which line I am on the in the little talk that I'm giving. Okay, makes sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
If you get confused about any of that or you run into stumbling blocks, that's okay. Just send us a question. We'll get it straightened out for you. All right. Okay. Now here's the other things. A couple real quick. You started off. You came up. You started off with good evening or thanks.
I saw your video already.
Okay. So you already know. For those of y'all don't know, I have a video that talks about 5 ways to open your speech. I'm not saying you're wrong for that. No, I'll tell everybody you're not wrong. I'm just saying you're a professional. We can come up with a little bit more spice than that. That is, it's another way to jump out, get them engaged, story, quote, or something, then circle back around and say good evening and thanks to everybody for being out here. But I like to hit them. As soon as I get the mic, boom. I'm like, I got y'all. This is not what you think it's going to be, okay? So you know that already. Good. You started with a story. I thought that was great. The story you started off with, I thought that story was good. The only thing is that you could have told them a little bit more about what they were going to learn, about the main things you wanted to share with them that night. You may have, and I couldn't hear it that good. If that's the case, then you just keep doing that. But what I'm saying is you didn't tell them what you was going to tell them.
It came up about 3 minutes after you cut it off.
I got you.
For about 13 minutes. And then, probably about maybe 2 minutes later, I ended with, I shared that story to let you guys know that I wouldn't be in the position I am now if I hadn't stopped dreaming or working hard, to get the point, to get all those things covered. And then I went into those 3 things I spoke about in regards to what the kids need to be focused on after school. So probably maybe like 2 minutes after that, that's when it went in. The reason why I shared that story with them.
I got you. Okay. So I'm okay with that. As long as that opening story is engaging and is moving, and then you say, so I'm telling y'all that because I got 3 things I want to share with you all. That makes sense to me. You just got to make sure if you do that, just remember the audience is riding with you for a minute, but now they don't know where you're headed. Mm-hmm. So the longer that goes, the more they're wondering, how long is he going to be? Is he going to take too long? Is he going to, what is he up here to talk to us about? So I'm okay with that, doing an opening and stretching it out a little bit, but the sooner you get to telling them, here's what I want to share with you all tonight, just that helps, that settles your audience down, especially your audience that's wondering how long you're going to be.
Let me ask you a question to that point. So you're saying, like I brought that in, 7 minutes into probably about 5, maybe 6-7 minutes into it, yeah.
Right.
So I maybe should have did it 2 or 3 minutes into it.
Yes, because here's the thing: at 7 minutes, we could win a world championship in Toastmasters. Like 7 minutes is a decent amount of time, man. So me. I'm a boom. I'm on stage. Hey, Al, I'll jump on stage, keynote. I'm jumping out. Hey, how many of y'all plan on being successful? Raise your hands. Boom. Let me tell y'all definitions of success. Run it out. You got a definition of success. What is it? So now this is me running with them, right? Okay, look, I got 3 things I want to share with you all tonight. Okay, what I want to do is talk to you about why your definition of success is important. I want to talk to you about how it keeps you on target and why you should never try to live someone else's definition of success. Now, before I get into that, let me say thanks to the principal, thanks to this, thanks to that, thanks to the college, thanks to all my graduating class. Y'all get a graduating class a round of applause. Appreciate it. Now let's jump in. And I'm telling my first story. So what I did is I engaged them, tell them where I was going. I thanked them, and all this is done in like 2 minutes or less. And they already like, oh, we like this dude. This dude, he's going to be engaging. He's going to get to the point, and we know what he's talking about, and we're cool. You got me? Now, this is a matter of opinion stuff. So what you do is you take what I'm telling you, and you go play with it till you find your own style. All great speakers got their own style. I'm not telling you this is the formula to do it this way. I'm saying these are the elements that you can use. You got to tell them, you got to engage them. You have to tell them an opening story for the most part, and you have to tell them what you're going to talk about. You need to find out what's the best timing in order to do that for you and your audience, okay? I'm just saying you can't go wrong by telling them that sooner. Does it make sense?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, all right, cool. The other thing is whenever you're given a list, always tell them the number in the list. So you said the military taught me to boom, 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 boom. So it's better to say, you know, I learned 4 main things from the military. I learned this, I learned this, I learned this, and I learned that. So when you're given a list, so people don't get lost in your list and they don't know where you're going, a lot of times it's better to say, I learned 3 main things, or it's 3 main things, or 4 things I want to share with y'all. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but you know what's funny about that? Written, that's what I had written.
You just forgot. Okay.
You know, that's what I did. But that's a good point. Yeah,
that's okay.
So I was wondering about that, but I did forget that. But, you know, I remember what it was. So, you know that was with your speech. The good thing, you know, you might forget what you wrote, but the good thing is also the audience don't know what you wrote.
They don't know. They had no idea. And I'm glad you didn't go back and work on that at all, okay? Now, this is the last thing. This brother to brother right here. We got to work on your enunciation. I want you to speak more clearly. I'm not worried about your accent, who you are, where you from. I told you I'm the home. I talk, that's how I talk. Well, what I had to learn to do is I want you to get a magazine, get a book or something, or get your speech and write out. And I want you to start recording yourself while you're reading it. Read it a little slower, then read it a little faster, and see if we can get some more distinction between your words. Because on that microphone where that echo was happening like that in the audience, the audio, even if the audio would have came out good that you recorded in your pocket, which what we heard on that video is similar to what the audience was hearing, because it was in that big gym. It was booming, you know, and you were talking. And so you got to get a little bit more distinction between your words also. Gotcha. When it's not obvious what you're talking about. You understand what I mean by that?
Absolutely.
This was something I had to do. I didn't have to change my lingo, my vernacular, my accent, none of that stuff. I just had to learn how to enunciate a little bit better. That is, I put a little bit more endings on there, or I leaned on the beginning of my words so that I didn't lose people while I was going through my sentences. Make sense?
Yeah. What I did was, you know, I went, you know, after you go through and listen to yourself a couple of times, a lot of times, you know, you're not intentionally doing it, but just going too fast.
Right.
And moments where I went too fast, where I maybe should have just slowed it down, maybe just enunciated better. But that was just, I don't know those nervous minutes, or you just too comfortable.
Oh yes, always nervous.
But those were moments I looked like I was just going too fast.
That's okay.
You know, back looking at the video, but I do want to say, I mean, I don't know if it'll go over time, but that last minute, one key thing that did stick with me was the last minute when I was ending it, when I was asking the kids the questions, and everybody was, yeah. That's what hit me, because at the end of the day, I knew I still was engaged.
That's right.
And they were answering my questions, and then they all just went crazy. Because, you know, typically sometimes when you give a speech, you know, once you say, okay, that's the end, then everybody started clapping.
Right.
But those last minute, when I was just starting to round everything up, and I started asking questions, and they would start saying, yeah, and then they would ask another question, they were saying, yeah. that was my assurance that, okay, I didn't lose them or anything like that.
Oh, no.
No, really.
You had them. Yeah, I believe that you had them based on the first story that you told me about this, and also just from watching that video too. You know, and here's the thing: you did what you're supposed to do. You got the connection. Forget perfection and all that stuff. You had connection, and that's the most important thing. Everything I'm telling you is just, hey, we just working on getting better. You feel what I'm saying? But it was clear that you had the connection right there.
Absolutely, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Yep,
Yeah,
Dennis said great presence at the podium. I agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it.
In the chat, Dennis just said you had great presence at the podium.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that, Dennis.
Yep.
All right.
I agree. So that's it for right now for Deonte. For you, Deonte, I think you're doing good, man. I like it. I like your whole personality for that particular audience that you're talking to, because you got that nice down to earth and you're approachable. You know what I'm saying? And I gave you some other feedback. I remember you wrote it down about some things you can incorporate. About go. You know, y'all can stay connected with me on YouTube. Remember, don't remember those things too. I always tell the audience how they can stick with you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's great though, man. Good stuff right there. I appreciate it, man.
All right. Great job, Deonte.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yep. No problem. Okay, good. Who's up next? Deonte, everybody in the chat is saying thank you too. You got some great feedback over there. You should scroll back through it and take a look at it also. Janice was asking about this video, Lawrence. What's this video she's asking about? Oh, how to introduce yourself. You put it in there? Okay. All right, good.
Yeah. All right, cool. So next up we have Kelly.
Okay.
So Kelly's one of our new students, so she'll give a quick introduction, a brief
introduction. Okay, real quick first. Kelly.
Yeah, who she
Kelly,
is.
If you're ready, say yes. You're ready. Okay, Kelly, can we show you a video? Yes or no? She said yes. Right. Okay, let's go. Hey, Dennis, thanks for the love, man. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dennis said, Al, you are one awesome teacher. Blessings to you and Lawrence. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right. What's going on, Kelly? You got to unmute
Kelly, you're
yourself.
Muted. Or you're muted. Let me unmute you.
All there right, we go. Okay, good. Hey, Kelly, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good. You just over there relax and look at you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
So now, Kelly,
nice out.
I spoke with Kelly last week, and she has a little bit of different goal in terms of what she wants to use her voice, her speaking for in regards to taking over media and television. But I'll let her tell the audience, or tell the class more about who she is and what she's trying to do.
Okay, great.
Okay. Hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. I like the energy. So in short, I'm originally from Togo. That's a small, little, tiny, bitty country on the west coast of Africa. And it's a French-speaking country. That's where I grew up. And I've been in the U.S. for 18 years now. And in my personal journey, I've come to understand that there are certain things in our culture, our African culture, and more specifically Francophone African culture, that really impact the quality of our lives no matter where we go in the world. So I want to create a platform. I think I started already, but the vision is to really have a platform where we dare talk about the things that are killing us, that nobody wants to talk about, that we are afraid of talking about, that are called taboo, that you can be judged really quickly when you open your mouth about it. Example, sex. But we're suffering from not being educated about those topics, or not having the courage to share stories and lessons. So that is the vision, and how I tend to do that, and the ability that I have is to have a television show. I envision probably several television shows by the time it gets there, but I have the ability to engage an audience in that format. I like, bugs. I like engaging people at that deeper level, and I've been able to do that. However, it's a challenge in the African culture because we are taught you have to hide everything. Everything is supposed to be perfect. So with that in mind, not being, as Lauren said, not having in my mind, the first goal is not to be solely a speaker. My goal is to have a media platform.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that, I will be doing speaking. And that media platform, I envision it being across the African continent and the diaspora. So I envision myself traveling to different African countries and having these conversations with people in a way that we share the truth, but we also provide resources to solutions and learnings.
Okay.
Basically, and people have called me this our African opera, something like that.
Okay.
I don't want to say I want to be Oprah, because I will not be Oprah. I want to be the greatest Kelly Amuzu.
Right.
But that is, if that gives you an idea of what I'm trying to create.
Yep, it does.
Oh,
And
excuse the airplane here.
that's
No
okay.
worries.
Trent. Okay. And hold on, I'm taking notes over here too while you're
Yes,
talking. So
sir.
let me come back. Let me walk through the top real quick. So you topics. So you want people to tell their stories.
Yes.
Okay. So more than just the topics, I want to make sure I understand correctly. You want people to be brave enough or comfortable enough to share, to be authentic and transparent.
Yes. Whether anonymously or not, I'm open to it being anonymous, but I want real, true stories.
No, I got you. Anonymous is fine, but you can still be authentic just because you don't want to tell
Yes.
everybody that I'm sharing. Well, what
Yes.
you want to do is you're looking for a platform where you can help people become more transparent and authentic, but in a positive manner also, towards a positive end, right?
Of
Because
course.
there's plenty of crazy sites we could go to with people being a little bit too authentic. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we want so we want them being authentic and transparent, but at the end, it's authenticity and transparency to what end? Like what do you want to do? You want to heal, inspire, empower. What are you looking
Yes.
for? She said yes.
First word, heal. Yes.
Heal. The
Heal
first
is
word.
the first word. Heal. Yes. We
There we
suffer in
go.
silence. We suffer in silence. And
Got you.
I'd like to get us out of that, because don't get me started.
No,
But
that's okay.
yes,
I
that's
want to
the
get you
first
started.
word.
No, I want to get you started.
Heal is the word.
Okay.
Heal, because from healing, you awaken who you truly are, and we are walking machines that are just going through the motions
Okay.
and contaminating each other's lives with poor quality of life. And I'm like, no, it doesn't have to be like that. And it starts by telling the truth, and
Right.
by sharing, and by acknowledging, and by taking responsibility for the mess that we have. Africa is a mess because we're individually messed up. Excuse me.
No, I understand. And I'm taking
So,
notes over here. Go ahead, L-Dub.
yeah, so Kelly, what challenge or problem are you having right now that you'd like to discuss tonight?
Determining my niche. So I was listening to the Get Off to a Great Start series.
Oh, yes.
I understood really quickly that, as you said earlier, I couldn't get on with these steps and planning if I'm not clear on my niche.
Right.
So I've been giving it thought already. I know there's plenty of hosts and shows in Africa already. I do believe that I can start with a very specific niche of single parenting.
Okay.
And go to the different aspects of our lives: money, relationships, friendships, career, all of that, from that angle.
Okay.
However, I think you pointed to that earlier. I want to be also careful not to be just known for that, because I can engage anyone and everyone. And what matters to me is that we talk about your life as a human being, whether
Right.
you're a single parent or not. So I'm struggling a bit with, I already know one of the aspects of my niche is I want to specifically start with the audience of, I want to say, middle class African people who do
Mm-hmm.
have an income, because I spent a year and a half in Togo back home, and I realized I cannot approach the whole continent the same way. I cannot
Right.
talk about transformation to the majority of the people on the continent who do not have what to eat. So that's a different strategy. So if I can get the middle class first, then we can rally resources to do another strategy to help the others to pull them up. That's
Okay. I got you. So, a couple things just to set your mind at ease. A lot of times, I don't know if you just came this week, so you didn't see the lecture where I explained to people that focus is difficult to achieve because it requires sacrifice. So whenever you sacrifice, you feel like you're losing something else. Okay. But in this industry, the way it works is it really wouldn't matter if it was single parents or if it was working professionals, which could include single parents. You understand what I'm saying? That's fine. What will happen is that as soon as you start to own and dominate that niche, it's easy to spread out to everything else. But so never think of, so when I say what you want to represent and you don't want to be boxed in, that's a little bit different than saying pick a niche. When I say you don't want to be boxed or be careful about what you want to represent, I mean be careful about what you want to represent to your niche. So if you so it's okay to pick a niche first. You see what I'm saying? And not feel like you're going to be boxed in based on a niche. There's a difference between your representation or the way the market or your niche is thinking about you, as opposed to this is the group of people I specialize in talking to first. Because if you dominate in there, other people who deal with them will want to hear from you also. There's no way you're going to talk about single parents, and if you're expert on single parents, that some kind of way, some businesses aren't coming along saying, hold on, I want to hear from her too. Or if you're expert in single parents, that's, you know, the teens are some kind of way listening, and other employers and people are listening. But so for your niche, right, what I'm going to say is, you got single parenting is one. Let's just get a couple for you to choose from. And then you can see, based on your areas of credible expertise and what problems you want to solve, which one of these are the most receptive to the solutions. All right. So one is single parents. Okay. Definitely. Another group of people who love hiding what's going on, I'm telling you, who fit exactly what you're saying, are young professionals. Because they always think they're supposed to be more successful than they are. They're always comparing themselves to somebody else. There's always something going on behind the scenes that they don't want to share, they don't want to talk about, okay? And they're always operating on polar extremes. That is, you the person on social media sharing too much, right? Or what you're sharing is not the truth, right? Or you're trying to compare yourself to other people and you're really hurting on the inside, okay? And so what I'm going to say is let's, based on your area of credible expertise and the problem you want to solve. I'm coming back to this word heal. Okay. So what's group for you? This is just your assumption for right now until we do some research, because you're going to do some real research on this also. But just based right now, do you feel like a single parent, based on what you want to do for them, do you feel like single parents, or I just picked young professionals because that's what came to mind for me? That's okay. Who you have over there? You got, is that your baby?
Come here, come.
Yes, bring. What's up? You want to say hello? Can you hear me?
No, next Monday we're going to grandma's for sure.
Okay, all right, that's okay.
He said, can I talk to him? He asked earlier if he could talk to you.
Tell him, put him on, let him say hello. Go ahead.
Yeah, he can hear you.
He can hear me now. Then now he went running.
Say hi. I told you, Mom.
Hey, how you doing? You okay? You all right? That's good, man. What's your name?
name? You should think about your name. Nathaniel.
Nathaniel. Okay. I like that,
Nathaniel.
Nathaniel. I have a little brother named Nathan. It's not quite the same as Nathaniel, but it's close. Okay. All right,
Thank
Nathaniel. I
you.
don't mind that. That's good.
Okay. Give me 5 minutes, okay? I'll be right there. Peacefully.
Yes. Listen, we love kids. Our whole circle. You know, great pro speakers, Black Business School, everybody. We don't care. We don't push children away. So if that's for anybody. If your child pops up and want to stick their head in, I love it. If your child want to know about mommy making money, you know, and starting her business, that's great. I got no problem with that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
LD, we
Thank
love
you.
kids. Right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
you were asking me something.
yes. So what I'm looking for is based on your areas of credible expertise and helping people heal. Okay. Just you don't have to answer right now. What I would like for you to think about is let's pick. We got two. I'm giving you one, so you owe me one more. Okay. And then we'll circle back around on this because sometimes picking your niche can take a little while and we can't hash that out in one setting. So you said single parents. I'm throwing out young working professionals because they tend to be single also. Some of them are single parents, maybe not. But that group also has a lot, you know, that can be helped out with being authentic. There's a lot of healing that can happen with them. Also, that group consumes media at a high rate. See, when you start telling me you want a media platform and things of that nature, I immediately go to, I'm telling you how you think about your niche. I'm like, who wants what I have?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, young professionals consume a lot of media in all formats. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying single parents don't, but when I'm thinking about who's consuming media and you want 2, 3 television programs, online, offline, I'm going all across Africa. I'm like, oh, well, we kind of in the working professionals here. They can afford devices. They got internet bandwidth, all this, that, and other, and they consume media at a high rate. Okay. So just consider them also, and think about one more group that may want to share, you know, that's saying we can help heal them if they had a chance to share their stories. All right. So if you work with those 3 groups and think about, now you're going to say, what are the 3 main problems of single parents? Because so far, the only thing you kept talking about is what I want to do, what I want to give them, which is fine. But I heard a whole lot of eyes in there. And now what I want to know is from your target market, what they are dealing with and how your vision can help them solve that. And see, going through these one at a little by little, we're going to hone in on a group that's you're like, oh no, this group is prime, not just to be helped, but also ready to receive what I had to give to them. Make sense?
Yes, it does. You know, I actually have some of the answers already. When you're thinking about single parents, I already am very aware of some of the difficulties that single parents have, especially at least in my culture.
Okay.
When I was home for 1.5 years, I actually created what everybody thought was crazy because you don't do that in Africa. I created a single moms group that from which I got so much reality checks, and I that's actually one of the things that inspired me because I got to understand the depth of, so here, being a single parent here in America, it's normal. But over there, you're very ostracized. You're judged. And when you're a woman, oh, you must have done something horrible for you not to be. Yeah. So speaking with you, that's starting.
I like that. I see, because if you tell me you had a single parent group and you can get a whole bunch of stories from them, and now watch this. So you could actually have your single parenting group where you had a whole bunch of stories, right? And then not only can you have single parents reading and understanding that, but you can have young professionals consuming those stories in an online or digital format also. You see what I'm saying? So that single parent group is anytime you have something like that, that's a great place to go back and mine for stories. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So I'm thinking that we're in the ballpark And in the next couple of weeks or so, you'll keep going back and forth. We'll have another conversation, either group coaching or we'll get on Bonjour or something. You'll send us some questions. But I think in the next week or so, we can hone in on a place for you to at least start. And then we go for it and see what happens. Because here's the bottom line. They're either going to check it out or they won't. And then we move on to the next group. Yeah. Okay? So never feel like it's going to be lost. Sometimes it takes a little traction. And one thing I am a fan of also, and that is it's still got to be a group that you love. If you keep bringing up single parents, it just sounds like you have a great deal of affinity for them. So, let's lean towards them. That's fine.
Yeah. Yes. And, just sharing information that might help you in helping me. I actually have already started a project on having intimate conversations with single parents. I have a list of about 20 different things that we deal with that we have to transform through. Okay. And I have already contacted people from my country and other African countries, male and female, who have agreed to have conversations with me. So yeah,
you got a lot of stuff over here. You got stuff for frameworks. You got everything. I'm telling you, there's a lot here. So what you know what I like from you is you just new over here. So we got to get a speaker's profile from you also. You haven't filled out one of those yet, have you?
No.
Okay. So Lawrence will give you the link to where you can fill, or you can go into the Great Pro Speakers, right, Lawrence, and fill out the speaker's speaker's profile, and that's going to help shape the direction we can push you in. But I'm going to tell you right now, based on this short conversation with you, I hear a couple things. I hear that you're closer to picking a niche than you think you are. Single parent sounds pretty good to me, especially since you're not trying to charge them money directly. You have a different way that you're going to make income. Single parent sounds like a good place. It also sounds like you also have some stories and things to get started on. And it sounds like you got the makings of a framework based on feedback and research you've been getting from your audience already. So that's a lot of raw information. And when we hit the content pillar, because we're working on branding right now, when we hit this content pillar, you're going to have a lot of stuff to work with for us to help you put this together, okay?
Okay, thank you. This was helpful. I was scared of being pigeonholed. That's why I didn't. I already knew that's what I wanted.
Yeah, it's not that. I know it always feels that way with a niche, but it's not. You got to think of what I'm doing is I'm concentrating my power. It's not being pigeonholed. I'm concentrating my power so that then I can expand more.
Yes.
But if you're spread out like this, you can't concentrate your power and your expertise. You see what I'm saying? You can't do it. So that's what a niche is for. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You wanted to say something, Lawrence?
No, you said it.
Okay. All right, Kelly. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. All right. And tell them Nathaniel said later.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Last one. Who's up?
All right. We got Troy. Troy, about to, you cool with video, Troy?
Troy, if you're ready, say yes. That's one yes. Waiting on Troy. Is he there? Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, there he is. He said, yup to both. Okay, that means video and you're ready. Okay, good. Let's go. And one last thing to Kelly. Kelly, make sure you read through some of these comments. I saw some good comments and suggestions for you in the chat. So scroll back up a little bit because Carmelita has something very good to say. I like what Carmelita said. I would start by hosting a town hall in the U.S. and gathering some recurring themes from your fellow countrymen and women to help formulate a niche and strategy moving forward. Now, let me say a town hall can be 5 people in your living room or 20 people on Facebook Live. It is what you say it is. I love it because she was doing that already with the single parent group. So you right on point, Carmelita. I love it. All right. Okay, good. All right, Troy, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh man, I'm listening to you, but I got the game on too.
Oh, there ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
Oh, man. You living the good city life over there, Troy. What city you in?
I'm in San Francisco. I'm actually still at work. But
okay.
So yeah, so it's a good scenery behind me.
Yeah, I see that. I'm looking at that.
It's not my living room. I wish.
Okay. Okay. All right, good. So, all right, Troy, what can we help you out with today?
So, just the convo on the niche.
Okay.
It's sort of got me. as I do videos and things, I've been thinking about, it's like, I'm a little bit unsure of the niche, and also I'm gonna say a little bit embarrassed of personally on the niche that I think I prefer to have.
Okay.
And part of it is that I'm thinking maybe the people who I want to talk to might even have no money. And so
that happened to me, man. So I feel you.
So, and the problem is because I'm always, you know, the whole purpose that I got into financing is I want to help my friends and family, and they all broke. So
I got you.
I don't want to help broke people, obviously. But then I'm going to just give you a little bit about sort of me and who I'm finding that I want to help. And that is, I've always sort of been a nerd amongst thugs and you know, the dope world, right?
Got you.
So those are the people who I feel comfortable around. Those are the people who I like to talk to. And I had I had many years doing a lot of sort of behind the scenes in the music industry. And so I also gravitate towards those people, you know, you know, just who I like to talk to, you know. So somewhat the rappers, the hip hoppers, the thugs, the you know, those are kind of my element, but that's not necessarily me, you know. So, but you know, that's not to say that I don't want regular people, you know what I'm saying? Not that they are not regular people.
Yes.
It's just that, and so now I'm 50. So the people I'm talking about, this is how we was when we was 18.
Right.
But so now they 50s and they 30s and 40s. And so those are the people who I want. So I don't know how to define that market.
You mean as far as the music industry itself, or you mean as far as that group of people in that age that you're talking about dealing with?
That age, not necessarily the industry folks within the industry. That's kind of a niche unto itself, right? But regular human beings that are involved in that world, that have grew up with that same thing that, you know, you and I and we all have grew up listening to, you know, just that vibe. That's
so
made it to the 80s type of people.
I got you. So your area of credible expertise is finances, and you want to teach this group about finances? Okay. And when you say teach them about finances, you mean like financial literacy, or you mean financial planning?
I'm going to say both of those. And so just start off, my company is a registered investment advisory. So the majority of what I want is to capture assets under management. So I have an investment platform. So I want people to come on my platform, invest in their stocks and bonds on my platform. And then I will also help you with the financial literacy in terms of the coaching and whatnot. And also have a financial literacy platform where you enter your data, and, you know, I can get you the reports and do your financial planning and those things.
Okay, I got you. And you said you kind of targeting the people who made it through the 80s.
Exactly.
Okay. No, well, a couple things. No, I don't know. I'm not going to say everybody from the 80s is broke. We're not going to say, you know, we're not going to say that. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying.
It's definitely my mentality of the image of the people, and I'm still thinking of them back in the 80s and not
right. So
where they are now.
So I'm thinking, because, you know, first of all, I'm thinking if you're saying from the 80s, so then you're talking about Gen X folks. I mean, that's what we're talking about, Gen X.
Yes.
You're talking about people who grew up in the 80s. So
yes.
That it's a slightly broad niche, right? But if you're talking about finances, then Gen X becomes a lot more smaller niche to me when we talk about finances, because you're talking about specific ideas about money, employment, things of that nature, and you can relate to them culturally also, right? So normally, so if you were like telling me, I want to teach purpose, and I only want to talk to Gen X. You know, I've seen people that only talk to millennials, only talk to baby boomers, only talk to Gen X. That's one thing. But if you're talking about money, let's just say Gen X first, right?
Right.
Let's just start with them, because we need some place to get started so we can get in the ballpark. Now, we might be able to drill down into Gen X and say we want Gen X professionals or that work for that are corporate professionals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Down in there in a second, but just since you said 80s, let's stay with Gen X for 1 second so we can walk through this for you, right? And Lawrence, you jump in it whenever you want to, man. So we got Gen X now. When I'm looking at this, first of all, is let me tell you, Gen X. A lot of Gen Xers were lacking financial literacy, and this is one of the things the Black Business School deals with this all the time too: lack of financial literacy and having a certain ignorance about how to really generate wealth, as opposed to just getting a check and paying everybody else first without you making money, right? Okay,
there we go, right?
Right. So that's actually a pretty good place to start, because there's a lot of things we can do. We could talk about your there's music themes that you can relate to. There's TV shows you can relate to, all around the guise of drawing them in, you know what I'm saying, to talk about, teaching them about financial literacy, and saying, now that you learn all about what stocks and bonds are, or what good investments are, or asset, understanding asset management and asset acquisition and stuff like that. Now, not only did I teach you about that, but here's a platform where you can begin to safely do that. You see what I'm saying? And so Gen X is actually a good place to start. What we need to do is you need to look at Gen X overall, and then we'll drill down. But the first things you need to do are, you tell me what are the three main, if you can tell me right now, that's fine. But I'm saying you go write these things down. What are the three most pressing problems or concerns that Gen Xers have about money? You see what I'm saying? And now we're going to know where your expertise is. Go ahead, L-Dub.
Yeah, no, that's interesting, because I'm glad that you framed it around Gen X. So basically, you want to attract people around your same age, Troy. Maybe plus or minus 5 or 10 years or something like that, right? So I think with who you want to reach, I would go through their life journey in terms of where were they when they were 18 to 25 years old.
Yep.
Right. When they were on the streets, when they were, dealing with the crack epidemic of the 80s, if they, were on the streets at that time, all that type of stuff, right? What were they listening to? What were they doing? And I would just go talk to those people, like the people you have in mind. If you can still, keep in touch with them, if they're in the neighborhood or something like that, I would go just talk to them and see where they are in life right now and what they're struggling with. Because every generation, what they were at age 18 to 25 is not how they are going to be when they're 50, or 45, 55 years old, right? I was listening to, my generation, we listened to Little John and East Side Boys, like that's what we were doing. I'm 35, that's, I'm old millennial.
Right.
That's what we were doing. But, now.
I started off with Sugar Hill Gang.
Yeah, right.
Right.
In college, I was listening to Lil Jon and everybody else, right? And watching Chappelle's show, So, but what happens is as you get older, just those cultural references, start to change. So I think what you're going to find out is this. The same challenges that the Gen Xers are having with money, there's going to be some differences, but they're going to be the same challenges that baby boomers had and the greatest generation had, and then that we're going to have too. What's going to change is your persona, and your persona in terms of how you relate to them and how you get them to like you, because they feel like they are of you. You are of like the same ilk. You're the same type of people. But I think the best way for you to figure out which your niche is going to be in terms of what their problem set is just get out there and talk to them. Ask and listen, to the people that were the thugs and, the people running the streets, 20 years, or I guess more than that, probably 25 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, and see what they're facing now. And then what you're going to do is, once you know what those problems are, you're going to craft a persona around that, around, solving those particular problems that they're having. But first, you need to know what their problems are and what they're currently facing at age 45 to 55 years old.
Yeah, and I think that's why I like that category of people because that's who I talk to, and those are the people whose problems I'm hearing most of the time. And so I think I got a good insight. You got my mind spinning right now, and I'm thinking like if I include parts of that journey, like you were saying, and like a lot of the friends and family from that time are just now recovering, or I should say in the last 10 or 15 years, recovering from the effects of, the whole dope era type of thing. And so it's a lot of financial issues related to that. We're trying to catch up. A lot of people trying to catch up. And
not everybody
career
though.
on
Jay-Z's a billionaire.
on a lot of things.
That's true.
Jay-Z's a Gen Xer. He's a billionaire, right? So not every, and he's of course an anomaly, an extreme anomaly, right? I'm not saying everybody.
Right.
Yeah. President Obama, of course.
It's a lot. And that's the funny thing is even like because that you just mentioned it, that is kind of the wide gap that I'm seeing. Like on Friday, one of my good buddies from the 80s, I bumped into him, and he's in the Lamborghini on Friday. But and then left him, bumped into my other buddy that's broke and starving, and he was a baller in the 80s, and the other dude was not. So
so there we go.
It's a lot different.
Those are two different sub profiles in terms of the journey that of buddies that you had, personal buddies. So if you think about that, that's probably the start of decision making along that time is probably going to be one dimension in terms of how you segment your customer base. In terms of what did one buddy do that the other buddy didn't do, you know what I mean, to get them to this point in time, right? So you have to just really think through that, and I think you're gonna have to do a lot of customer interviews or just people, not even like formal interviews, but just talking to people, talking to them and actually get into the minds in terms of what were the decisions to get to where they are currently, whether good or bad, and then what problems and challenges are they currently having? Because if you're 50, you're probably thinking about your kids graduating, or 45 or 40 or whatever. Your kids are in high school, likely. You're thinking about that. You're thinking about retirement more. That's your knees starting to go bad. Or maybe like just a lot of stuff's happening. Thinking about cancer.
Hey, it's funny. I got a lot of former kingpins that are friends of mine, and it's funny how they are like little girls all happy that their kids are graduating from college now. It's like the change in the person. They used to be this super villain, and now it's like, oh, my son is graduating. It's a bit like you said, where they were at 18 don't have nothing to do with how they are now. So. But yeah, those are the people that I would really enjoy working with more.
Okay.
So that's
well, I think this is I think Gen X at least gets you in the ballpark. We can do some more questions, some more asking and answering, find the subsets, and I also think give you some stuff to play with. Because I'm sitting up here, it's easy to have a product that says, say, hey, I'm talking to my 80s folks here. Where were you when such and such came out? Remember this CD costs, remember this tape, it ain't even CD. Remember this tape cost $10 or whatever. Imagine if you took that $10 and did this with it. Where would you be right now? You feel what I'm saying? So you got stuff you can play with that group. And that's how you frame it so that these people who think who too cheap to buy your ebook or something, they may not invest with you right away. See, you have a long-term process thing. It takes people a little while before they start saying, I'm going to invest with you. But they might, if you mess with them and say, hey, man, remember you spent $10 on this tape, where would you be right now? X, Y, and Z. You know what? If you had put this $10 here, imagine what it could be over here. But some people took that $10 and spent it on this tape. They spent it on crack or whatever, and look where they at now. So you know what? Matter of fact, here's a little $10 product. This is my little, financial literacy guide, right? That can show you a good way to invest your $10 now. Okay, so that you can be here and not be having the same conversation in another 10 years. See, that's the way you can start framing stuff also, you know, and so you can play with some of that in the area of Gen X. Make sense to you?
Definitely.
Okay. All right, cool.
I love it.
All right. So
Troy, you should look at Carmelita's comment too.
Yes, I was gonna say that too. Whenever you all get off your group coaching. Yeah. Scan through. I liked her comment.
Yeah, that was a really good comment, Carmelita.
Yeah, and you know what? And I'm gonna follow Carmelita's advice because they told us we always need to read these things back for the replay. So here it is. Carmelita said, "That's what I was thinking, Lawrence. Host a barbershop cigar and conversations event or something like that. Partner with a sponsor for food, maybe. Those cats know and trust you. Gen X's are worried about money, non-dependent on our physical labor." Okay, yep, that's true. Starting off with 5 to 10 people can be a good start, then word of mouth, and ask each one to refer one. Absolutely. Just do what seems most comfortable and natural for you. Just a suggestion. That's a good suggestion, Carmelita. A lot of stuff to work with in there. Yep, good stuff. Okay.
Who is Peter Parker?
Oh, so Peter Parker's he's making the Black Capital movie for us, or the Black Capital show for the Black Business School. So he's a young guy. He's not your generation though, but you know, I'll try to find some interviews of him to see, you know, if you can pull some insights on from Peter.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. We got a couple more. Yeah. So look, thanks, Troy. We'll circle back around with you, or when you got some more. You've been working with that a little bit. You know, we'll be looking forward to hearing from you again pretty soon in the next weeks or so, okay?
All right, thanks, Troy.
All right, does that help you out, man?
Oh.
We good? That's all right. That's fine. That's fine. No, he said he nodded his head.
Okay, cool.
Long as hey, Troy, if you good, type yes in the chat because we were disconnecting you when I wanted to make sure you were cool and everything. So, and okay, Carmelita's asking about copy and paste all comments from the chat. So y'all love the chat too. Lawrence actually can.
You know what? Let me see if the chat
can do that. Yes.
Hold on 1 second.
Let me see this. And I'm just reading through comments as we get ready to wrap up and get out of here. So, okay. Couple things. Julian said, love that hook out. Thanks, Julian. I appreciate that. Looks like this is Janice wants a transcript of the session. Senior says a few weeks ago. Go ahead, L-Dub.
For these sessions, it looks like the chat is recorded too. So I'll go ahead and post those as text files.
I like this group. They want everything.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all want everything. We want the chat. We want the recordings. We want everything. Okay. All right. Senior says, a few weeks ago, you guys mentioned having me on the hot seat. Yes, I had to leave early last week. When will the chance to review with you guys come up again? You on. You on next week. And I'm sorry, Senior, we would have had you on this week also. I just didn't realize that. So it's a little late now. But you're up first next week, okay? So just remind us next week you're going to be on here, right? Cindy, if you're going to be on next week, say yes. She said, okay, good. There we go. Can we get the recordings if we buy them? What do you mean? The recordings are available already, Deetra.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you go to...
Yeah, they are. You even got the recordings from the last master class. I mean, from earlier back in January when we started. You don't know where to, if you don't know where to find those, I hope after all of this is over, oh, listen, it's going to be there. As long as you're a member of Great Pro Speakers, is all there.
Yeah.
I understand what she's saying. You mean you want to buy the recordings standalone? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. I'll let you talk to Lawrence about that in a little while. I'll see what you're saying now. Normally these recordings in the library is you get access to that as a member of Great Pro Speakers or as a member of the Black Experts Empire. Okay. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but if there's enough demand.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have some on demand stuff too. So
we
listen. If you asking because you want that option available, what we gonna do? Say no? Like, no, you can't pay for these. So we will figure that out for you also. Okay, but we don't want you to leave. Just stay with us. Just stay. Okay. All right. Good.
All right, Al.
All right. That's it, my brother. So I think we had another good week. Y'all remember your homework. Remember where you can upload it. Okay. And you're welcome, Shirley. Everybody, want to see some more y'all in these hot seats.
Oh man, sorry,
yeah,
I
he
saw
hurt his foot again already. Yeah, that's crazy. Well.
I'm about to get over here and get to the game in a second.
Oh, KD was trying to play tonight. You know, it was too soon, man. He's only come back because they was down. But anyway, that's not here nor there. All right. Okay. All right. Look, we'll see y'all next week. All right. Until then, be safe, be well, be blessed. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yep.